And what is going on, everybody out there? All of you beauts and beauties. It is episode number 96 of Hat Trick Hockey, which is always brought to you by our good friends over at GL Heritage, the official beer of Hat Trick Hockey. If you like these skate lace hoodies, stuff like that, that Total Butte shirt right there in the background, you like that? Just smash the link on the post. We'll bring you right into our merch store for all of your sweet HTH merch. This being episode number 96, it's the Holmstrom edition of Hat Trick Hockey. This got 15 years in the league, 1,027 games, 243 goals, 287 assists, 530 points, Olympic gold medalist. He's a SHL champion in Sweden, 4-time Stanley Cup champion, grind line member, played his whole career there with the Red Wings. I'll bring in my boy, my line mate, Rob. What's going on, buddy?
Just still fucking drowning sorrows, bro. Still drowning sorrows.
Leafs losing fucking first game. Well, not first game, first round again.
This ain't gonna change ever. It's gonna be upside down the whole fucking time.
Oh my God. And also Rob got a message from our boy Darren McCarty.
4-time Stanley Cup champ, don't forget.
Dude, I was fucking crying laughing the first time I seen that fucking video, man. It was so good. But you and him are always going back and forth every time he comes on the show. I just feel like I'm sitting there and you and Darren are arguing. So it's funny, it's hilarious, and our like listeners love it. So funny. So that was a good one. Also, before we get stuff going here, Rob and I, how much do we got? A lot of shit to talk about today, buddy. Like there's tons of stuff. So before, we're going to probably do a little Instagram and YouTube giveaway soon here, but we're going to have 2 prizes. So one of them is going to be a skate lace hoodie, which is kind of like the one I'm wearing, a little bit like that. And then the other one's going to be this Total Butte shirt right here that my finger is on. Bing, right there. Rob and I were just kind of shooting the shit off the air on how we were going to do it. But when we get everything set in stone, we'll throw it up on all of our Instagram and our Facebook, and we'll put everything up there on how you can win. So just keep your eye out, because it's going to be soon and there's going to be 2 winners. So Rob, let's kind of wrap up round 1 here real quick. Okay. First of all, what I thought that was really cool is, of those 8 series in the first round, 5 of the 8 series went to game 7.
It's incredible.
Like, this may be so far the best year of hockey we've ever had in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Like, everything is even across the board. Rob, we'll just get into it quick here. Leafs lose game 7.
Fuck my life.
It's not like it was a blowout. Like 2-1 game. Matthews and Marner, well, they didn't have anything or whatever, points or whatever, but you know what? They fucking couldn't skate 2 strides without running into a fucking like lightning player. Like, they were so on those guys. I don't know, man. It's weird because like Campbell's numbers were better than like Vasilevsky and stuff like that. So he won the battle in net. And then those guys in net too, I thought the big advantage was to the Lightning, and along with probably everybody else, and Jack Campbell outplayed Vasilevsky.
Well, that's why I picked Tampa to go all the way to the cup again, because I think he's the better goalie, right? Not taking nothing away from Jack. Jack, back-to-back playoff just incredible. Yeah. Like he deserves such a pay raise. Like, it's unbelievable. And I don't know how the Leafs are going to do it with all those 4 guys taking up all that money.
Actually, speaking of that, I just read a thing today that the Leafs gave him an offer that him and his agent weren't very happy about.
I bet.
So I don't know if he moves on or I don't know, man. But all I know is they made a offer out to him that he wasn't happy with. So, well,
they're going to have to find another goalie to play for $750,000.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. You can't get rid of Tavares just because of his contract. Nobody's going to take that $11 million contract.
Mm-hmm.
Nylander is probably the only one that you could get rid of, but I don't know. I don't know.
Let me say something about those two, JT and Willie. So you know how I always say like trade JT, right? I always say that.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be honest with you. I think I changed my mind, dude.
Dude, he played amazing.
In games 5, 6, and 7, he was the standout for the Leafs.
Yeah, and then they took that goal away from him.
Yes.
Hall on that.
And the worst part about that is I know Leaf fans are pissed. It was soft, it was this, it was that, but it's not fucking basketball. You can't run a pick like that.
I didn't think it was that hard.
I thought it was weak too myself.
It's the playoffs.
Yeah.
You're letting shit go here and there. What about Bunting? Bunting getting drilled from behind. Not a fucking call by what's his name? McDonough. Fucking the defenseman there.
McDonough,
that's it. Yeah. But like McDonough. He gets smashed.
Yeah.
And he in a regular season, that could be a suspension.
Yeah,
but right. Nothing, no call. Mm-hmm. But then you call that pick. And I'm like, come on, like let's be fair, you know. But was it a pick? Yes, it was. Yeah. But it wasn't. Was it because it was a goal? Like, I don't know.
I think that's what made the whole like situation worse was that he shot and scored after.
Why didn't they call it right away? They didn't.
I don't think they had time.
The puck went in first before they blew the whistle.
Because I think it was like the block, and then he took like one more stride or two and shot. Like it was like boom, boom.
Yeah, it was very close in timing, but he still had to go around those two.
Yeah, he did.
And then go around another defenseman and he put it up in the top cheese.
Yeah,
but you know what I mean? Like
I thought that was a goal at first. And I was like, holy shit.
Change the whole game.
If that goal would have, like, the first thing I thought when that puck went in and I didn't know that there was anything called on the play, the first thing I thought was they might fucking do it.
I was jumping all over the place.
They might do it.
Fuck me.
And then they got called back and I was just like, oh, that might
But they still pressed. They still played. They still played hard, you know. You know who impressed me the most out of that whole series is Austin Matthews. Like he bodied, he back checked, he did it all. Scored goals. Like he was awesome. Like he was a man on a mission.
Yeah,
you know, and good on him. That lifted as he's soft in the playoffs. Same thing with Marner. Marner played amazing too. You know, but I don't know. I don't know how they're going to shake this curse. I don't know what they could possibly do. The only thing they do is if all four of those guys renegotiate their contracts to keep some of these guys, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. You got 5 guys making like 3/4 of the salary there. They're going to have to pay
it's in the
Mikheyev. They're going to have to pay if they want to keep him at Kerfoot. You know, like there's a lot of guys that are going to want more money.
Kerfoot, I think he's going to be trade bait.
And that's too bad because he's a great hockey player.
So
I like him. He's a fucking water bug, man. He had how many shorthanded goals did he have in the regular season? It was unbelievable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those big 4 or 5 are there need to restructure their deals.
Yeah, 100%. If they plan on doing anything in the playoffs, that's what has to happen.
Even if they took like, they all make, let's say around $11 million.
Yeah, right in there. Other than Nylander, he's 6.5 or whatever.
If they all took 9 across the board, think about how much money that opens up.
Yeah, and you know what? You can't tell me it's because of the money. Like Austin Matthews, he has so many endorsements. Mm-hmm. Mitch Marner can't do another commercial. Like he's got more commercials than fucking what's his name does movies. For Christ's sake.
I think that's where the NHLers make a lot of their money.
Yeah.
Because they get paid, well, as I'm not really going to say dick all, but they don't get paid half as much what they do rather than doing the freaking endorsements. Like, how much do you think Reebok has paid fucking Crosby over his career?
Oh, I know.
Like, you know, so.
And the actor I was thinking was Steven Seagal. Like, how many fucking Seagal movies have you seen? Mitch Marner's has just as many commercials, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, think about it. If they fucking did that, that would clear $8 to $10 million on the books
for sure. And now you can get a good $5 million defenseman and a $5 million. You know, like I want Johnny Gaudreau to stay.
Yeah. Oh, you mean Captain Gio
or Giordano. Sorry, I want
talking. He is actually expected. It's funny that you're saying all this because I was reading all this shit today. They're expecting him to re-sign in Toronto.
That's awesome. I love it. And he's from there, right?
Yeah. So he'll probably, I imagine he's going to be one of those guys that he's going to take considerably less to stay, I think is what's going to happen. And Spezza said that he's not playing anywhere else but Toronto.
I really hope he comes back. And shame on
Kyle Dubas.
No, Keith, for fucking sitting them 2 games.
First 2, yeah.
You know, like he got kicked out in the first one, or he didn't play the first one. What's the name gets kicked out? The big red dog there.
Yeah,
Clifford.
Big red dog.
And then Simmons goes and makes a bonehead play the next game. And meanwhile, you got Jason Spezza sitting up in the rafters. And, you know, remember we talked about like what was said in that dressing room to make them come out and play like that? That was Spezza. Yeah. Spezza was the one that stood up in the room and fucking went off.
Yeah.
And they come out and that was in the first period when they were down 2-0. Mm-hmm. And then they came back and just dominated the next 2 periods.
I said frickin' last week too that he's one of the best face-off guys in the league. Why the fuck you got him up in the press box? He's way better than those other 2.
I get it. They thought it was going to be a physical, you know,
one fight in the series.
It's hockey's not like that anymore in the playoffs.
Yeah.
You don't have to have a fighter, not in the playoffs. But it really sucks for those guys because they're the one that protects your guys all through the season. Mm-hmm. And then come playoffs, you're going to be like a black ace or what? I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know what Toronto does.
I don't know. They do have to figure something out. Burp. Sorry, guys.
But Simmons hasn't been that guy since he broke his hand.
Yeah, that's true.
And when he broke his hand, I think they were like, I don't know, 7 or 8 games deep into the season, and he had like 6 goals or something like that a couple years ago.
Playing good.
Yeah, and he never came back from that. Like he never. Remember, I will punch your head off your shoulders if you touch my guys. Mm-hmm. I have not seen him do any of it. True. He's had maybe 2 fights this year. I don't know.
I don't watch that much, Lise, but I watch them all.
I do, but yeah, I'm going to say maybe he's had less than 4.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah. And that's what you pay him to do. You pay him to fucking beat the wheels off somebody. So I don't know. I apologize for all the swearing. I'm just very, very fed up.
I don't blame you. Some of the other rounds though. So the Blues knocked off the Wild in 6, which that one kind of shocked me.
I was surprised too.
Yeah. Flames beat the Stars in Game 7 overtime. Johnny Hockey on the winner.
But what about Binnington coming out and just being a stud again?
Being himself. Yeah. We're going to actually.
That's awesome.
We're going to shoot the shit on that later.
Oh, okay.
I'm just kind of going over real quick because we're going to break down the whole second round of the playoffs later in the show.
All right.
Oilers win in 7 over Los Angeles. Rangers win Game 7 OT. The bread man on the winner there. Shot it like through a crowd too. Nice little shot. Florida knocks off Washington in 6. Carolina beat Boston in 7. That one was nuts. An Avs sweep, of course. We all kind of did that. So everybody that listens to our show, follows us on our social media and stuff, we threw up our picks for the first round of the playoffs. So I did a little point system for the boys here. If you guys would like to kind of follow along with us, you can. So what I did is I gave you 1 for having the right team, and I gave you an extra 2 if you got the games right. Okay.
Yep.
So you and Drew both have 9 points each. You guys both called 2 series winner in games, both of you guys. So Drew called Carolina, St. Louis winner in games. He called both of those series. Rob, you called the Lightning and Carolina winner in games as well. And I called the Rangers winner in games. out of 8 series between us on the show here, we got 4 out of 8 winners and the games.
Nice.
It's pretty fucking good, dude.
So how many points do you have?
I have 8.
Loser.
Yeah, I have 8. So that's how we're doing it right now. So
yeah.
But I thought that was pretty cool that we got 4 out of 8 winners and games.
Yep. That's good.
It's pretty sweet. So see, we're not so bad.
I was fucking throwing darts at the board.
I think we all were. So a couple stories here before we hop into before we get to our little interview here. We'll talk about the second round in the back half there. Did you see the Arizona Coyotes aren't allowed to put their logo at center ice at ASU?
Shame on the NHL.
What in the fuck is going on right now in Arizona?
So if a basketball team wasn't making any money, would they be playing in a high school?
Fucking, I don't know.
Because that's pretty much what fucking the NHL is doing to these guys. Mm-hmm. And if the NHLPA has any balls, they'd be saying, no, move them then. Move them to Quebec. Yeah. Move them to fucking North Dakota. Move them somewhere.
Yeah, dude.
Give Toronto another team.
They would sell out.
Give Toronto another team. Toronto could do it. Toronto could definitely handle it.
Quebec, I like that better.
Yeah, but you had a team and you fucked it up.
Yeah, but
already too.
Yeah, but I think nowadays, I think they would sell out every game.
I don't know. Remember I said the French are assholes.
But where else could you put them?
Put them on a border city. Somewhere where Canadians and the US will go to.
But they just kind of did that with like Seattle, didn't they? Isn't that kind of a border city?
Isn't Seattle in the ocean?
Seattle?
No,
no, it's out west, but it's
I know, but it's right on the fucking.
No, I know. So I don't know. I'm not a geography guy here, -1, but I'm just saying, like, I'm pretty sure that's close to a border too. So,
well, Jelly said you were a good student. You 2 + 2 was Jelly.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, that is true.
Jello.
That is true. So I don't know where the hell you would put them. I think everybody's leaning on Quebec, obviously, right? Everybody wants to see that. But hey, you seen a fucking crazy story? Would you say Johnny Hockey possibly to the Red Wings?
Yeah, that was a rumor coming out, and
because he's a free agent at the end of this year, isn't he?
Yeah, well, and you know how Yzerman loves to wheel and deal, and you know, like, and it was funny too because it was like one of the radio stations I was listening to also, and they were like, Johnny Hockey in Hockey Town, how fitting.
Yeah, true.
So
that'd be cool.
It was kind of neat hearing it. You know, like whether it's true or whether it's not, who knows? But a lot of times when shit gets out there is some truth behind it, right?
Mm.
So yeah, and like that'd be awesome that they pick up somebody like that. Like I think he'd fit right in.
Yeah. Probably throw some more asses in the seats too.
Yeah, for sure.
Fucking 50-goal scorer, man.
Yeah.
Like if he doesn't put asses in the seats, I don't know what the fuck will.
They'd have to come up with some kind of special ham and cheese sandwich there at the arena.
Yeah, Johnny, the old Johnny
grilled ham and cheese or something. That would be awesome.
Serve it with a fucking Bud Light.
Yeah,
I'd crush those. Damn straight. Real quick too, we're just kind of zipping along here because we got a lot of fucking things here. Braden Point out for game 2 versus Florida.
I don't know what's happened to him. Like, is it a hip flexor? Is it?
I'm not sure.
Or is it just a lower body injury?
They'll usually never say what it is because then the other team can zero in on it, right? So
yeah, but you know it's a leg, so
yeah,
that's easy, and everybody saw it when he went down.
It looked like he was an ankle?
And then it was crazy that he came back out, and I'm like, you fucking faker. He went and did like a lap, and he was off, and he was like, nope. Can't do it. And I'm like, okay, hockey players really don't fake.
No, it's not fucking soccer. But anyways,
not North Americans anyway.
I love it. So the Golden Knights fire the coach again. Peter DeBoer. Bye.
I don't understand this owner. Peter DeBoer is a good coach. Like,
I know the fans are pissed.
They are. Because they left. Remember, they left Gerard Gallant on the side of the fucking road.
I know. And
When
look
they
at him
fired
with the
him, called
Rangers.
him off the bus. Hey, yeah, I got to talk to you. Yeah, you fired. We
Yeah.
called you a car.
And look at him. And look at him with the fucking Rangers now.
Yeah. You know, like you made a huge mistake with that.
Mm-hmm.
But owners, all owners are eccentric. And the only reason you can call them eccentric is because they're rich.
Yeah.
If it was me, they would just call me crazy.
I know. Like, who the fuck is this guy?
Right. Like, I don't know.
And that's
but they were such a big deal, right? Like everybody was like, "Oh my god, I'm a Golden Knights fan now." And then they do this to Gallant, and then everybody's like, "What are we doing?" You know, like, and now they're doing this to DeBoer. Like they had so many injuries like this year. Like I don't know.
Well, not
maybe
to
you
mention,
shouldn't have let fucking Fleury go.
Well, that, and they said Eichel was playing with a broken thumb.
Right. And that was right after he got there, and he took that time off to get healed.
And then he just got back
or whatever.
Yeah, he had neck surgery.
Right. So he comes back on, boom, breaks his thumb. Like how do you play hockey with a broken thumb? You know what I mean? You can't grip shit.
Yeah, you can't even grip your stick when your thumbs when your hands all jacked.
Yeah.
Speaking of jacked,
DeBoer, like I think he got the shit out of his stick there.
Speaking of jacked, Mitch Marner. He's fucking
jacked.
He's fucking
in
lucky,
Toronto.
dude.
Isn't that great?
I guess when the guy came up or whatever, Guns or something came out or whatever, he just told him, just take it.
Yeah. What else you gonna do? You're not gonna fight for it.
Yeah, like he's
got a fucking gun in your face.
Yeah, bro, I could walk in over there and just buy one cash. Like, here, take it.
But I heard that carjacking is fucking huge in Toronto right now.
Yeah.
Don't matter where you are.
And he had
they're just taking it.
He had a Range Rover or Land Rover or something like that. I think they said he had, and you know them, those guys, it's probably black, tinted out.
Oh yeah.
Nice rims on it. Like it's probably
I'd have bulletproof windows. Just give him a finger. Fuck you. Trying to take it.
He ain't taking shit.
Yeah.
That's fucking funny. Yeah. You know, if you're that rich, why not?
Have one of those big hands from Jackass. Remember that big hand? Come on.
Yeah. High five.
Bitch slapped a guy.
High five.
So awesome.
That would be good. Barry Trotz interviewed with the Jets.
That's what they're saying.
Yeah.
Like, he went for an interview, getting checked out, and I don't know how this guy got fired either.
I feel like
he's a defensive-minded coach, and he was just not a fit.
I found it weird when he left the Caps after he won the cup.
They wanted. Didn't he get fired?
I think he just. I don't know if he left but still, either way.
Oh no, didn't he have the heart thing?
He might have. He might have, but you think they would have fucking brought him back after you win the cup?
I don't think they had to put a new coach. You know what I mean? I don't know how long he was gone for, but
true. Yeah, that's fucking.
I want to say he was out for like 2 years or something like that. Because I think it was right at the beginning of COVID.
Yeah. I think Trotz is. I think he's a Manitoba boy too, so that might be very fitting for him as well, right?
For sure.
So look out for that. He's interviewing it in a couple different spots, I guess. So
why isn't Detroit looking at him?
I would think that they would, but Detroit's like, I don't know, like one guy online, he's fucking, me and this one dude were back and forth because I'm like, do we want to go? Because I'm saying for the Wings coaching job, I would like to see it. I was gonna say Fedorov, but Fedorov signed a new deal in Russia to coach over there. I wanted it to be Igor Larionov as a coach. So, but
what about Paul Maurice?
But what I was saying is I didn't want just another NHL recycled coach. Like, you know what I mean? If it's somebody,
I wouldn't call Paul Maurice recycled.
I know, but I'm just saying,
but he's stopped listening to him.
I know, but I'm saying though, but he's coached for this team. 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 Why not we bring in a guy that played with the franchise, had success already with the franchise, and it's Igor Larionov. The guy's a fucking legend.
But how do you know he can coach? You're putting a lot of
because he's
eggs in a basket.
Because he's coaching in Russia, bro. He's already been doing it. He just hasn't coached in the NHL.
Didn't he just sign a contract with whoever he's with?
No, that was Fedorov.
Oh,
and
okay.
and he also, I think he was the coach for the Russian Olympic team. So he's been doing it.
And you can't tell me Fedorov hasn't been talking to Yzerman about.
Oh, they
right?
have.
And what a prick you are. You take all that fucking North American money and run, eh? Go sit back in Russia.
Mm-hmm.
Asshole.
Yeah, but so I would like to see it like Lariana, like bring in something different. I don't think he's gonna. There was another guy they were talking about, our boy Mike Scroy. It's one of his buddies was in the running too. I think his name's Jason Payne, I want to say Payne, and he's in the run. He's a coach in like ECHL or something right now that everybody says like he has success everywhere he goes. So they're talking about, so like this guy's a fucking winner everywhere he goes. So he's in the running too. I seen his name because Mike was like, "Hey man, congrats," because he was in this list of name with some of these like sick coaches. And he's in the list. I mean, he's in the running. He's probably gonna be one of the guys that they interview. So I'm down for that too.
They should look at Anthony Iaquinta, Coach of the Year for PGHL, and look at him. Get
Smalls Cup champions, not a big deal, but
is that good?
Yeah. So speaking of that cat, we're gonna have him on soon too. So he'll be back to talk about the run with the boys. Shanny with your Leafs confirms that Kyle Dubas and Keefe will be back. What do you think on that? Are you okay with that?
I am okay with it. Like, I just think he fumbled sitting Spezza out, but that's the only mistake I really saw him making. Mm-hmm. Like I said, Simmons used to be a really good hockey player, and I'm not taking anything away from him right now. It just like playoffs are not his bag.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like you put Spezza with a couple of nice young fast kids, and he's putting sauce across the fucking arena, and they're going in on breakaways.
Yeah,
you know. I don't know. I don't think it has anything to do with Dubas or anything to do with Keefe. If they could really get somebody in there to talk to those five guys about
restructure your deal.
Yeah. Even if they took $1 million back off of each guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there's 6 of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fuck, well, there you go.
More money cleared up.
And remember what I said 100 podcasts ago? No team has ever won the Stanley Cup with a $10 million guy on it.
Mm-hmm. Boom.
So,
there you go. And they got 18 of them.
Yep.
Was it Declare, you said? So this guy goes from a healthy scratch and scores his first career playoff goal, which was the first goal of round 2.
Yep.
I believe that was Florida's only goal against the Lightning, was it not? I think it was a 4-1 Lightning win. Yep. So congrats to him, but hopefully Florida bounces back. And one thing that you and I were kind of shooting the shit off the air about was the Suter press conference.
Yeah, I love it.
Because they were asking him, he's like, what else do you want? We have a battle of Florida. We have a battle of Alberta. He just like listed all this stuff. And I was like,
what brings people together?
Yeah.
There's
what brings
3
people
things
together more? Yeah.
Hockey, the hometown battles, church, and music concerts.
Yeah.
I'm like, perfect.
Yeah. Welcome to Alberta.
Yeah. I just love the way he looked at it, and it's fantastic.
That guy seems like he's always just cool, calm, and collected at all times.
I think he would beat the shit out of anybody in the NHL.
He shows zero emotion when
he's
just like always straight face.
Like
he is funny, but he's a witty guy. He's fucking.
I think he eats a lot of edibles.
Yeah, he's just eyes just hanging to his fucking kneecaps.
He's just chilling.
Looks like me on a fucking Saturday night when I'm out with the boys. But so anyways, should we flip it over to our interview here?
Yep.
We got our boy Joe Garon back on with us. Joe filled us in on, you guys should see the stuff coming up for the 73s this season. So Joe went over it all with us. So guys, enjoy. Back for round 2, Mr. Joe Garon.
Roll it.
Showtime.
been a long time since we had this cat on. It's been I don't think there's anything this guy does not do in the town of Essex. He is a counselor, former 73's goalie. He's on the board. He's a stats guy. Joe Garon, welcome back to the show, man.
Thanks for having me.
What's going on? I haven't really
too.
What isn't going on? I mean, we're so busy right now with everything, just even outside of just life back to normal now. So very busy. I'm in the event planning business, so that's going very busy. My business is going busy. The 73s and the Fun Fest, lots of stuff going on right now.
Love it.
Exciting times.
Everything getting caught up.
Yeah, exactly. 2 years. It's almost like starting all over. I'll be honest with you. And a lot of, especially with the events and that, I mean, so many things have changed, but we'll get back in the pocket there shortly. Take a little time.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Even with the like your events and stuff, because like you had one that was just canceled like at the high school for I think it was for the 73s.
Yeah, I had probably four to six events I think of off the top of my head that I have to reschedule that are carried forwards from like 2020. So, and then people, you know, some groups were trying, and I was adamant that I didn't really want to get into reinventing the wheel and how I do things to make it fit the COVID rules and everything. And I also didn't want to do all this planning and for groups, not like we do a lot of raising money for nonprofit groups, didn't want to do all this work and then find out we had to cancel something. It's a lot of work for naught, right?
So people can't go. You can only put this many people in. This many people can't go.
Dancing with masks on and all that craziness. So now it looks like there's a little more certainty to doing an event. So yeah, it's full bore ahead with pretty much everything now.
You should do a dance with like a mascots.
Like mascot. That fucking would be funny. Be like, is there
well, if it raises money for nonprofit groups, we'll do it.
Okay. Everybody be like, are the fucking like furries in town or something like that? Freaking out. Now I know when it comes to the 73s, Joe, I notice you do a lot. I seen you up there in the stands going crazy with your pen. How do you do all the stats at the game, people walking up, talking to you, everything? How do you keep such good track of everything?
Well, first of all, I mean, I do my share for the Essex 73s, maybe a little bit more than my share. But everybody that's involved on the executive within the organization, they all do their part as well. I just been fortunate over the years to collect a lot of the stuff that people find boring, such as memorabilia and statistics. And it's just something that's always just stuck with me. So I'm like a sponge when it comes to the information for 73s related. No, it's just it's a balance. I mean, like anything else, it's a balance. But you got to have your shit together. Of course, it starts with that.
Oh yeah.
Well, you don't have a job either.
Clarify, I do have a job. I just refuse to work a lot.
No, it's just crazy though, because I see like everybody walking up in the stands like, hey Joe, and then plays going on, and I'm like, I don't know how he keeps those stats so fucking accurate.
Gotta get beer.
Yeah, excuse me one second. I go grab a couple cases of beer for.
And that had to have been huge. Like you guys had to have made a bunch of money on that.
Yeah, you know what? We had a really good playoff run. Unfortunately, we come up a little short this year, but we have lots to look forward to next year. And it's business, right? Junior hockey, even at the C level, and we're forbidden to call it C anymore. The Provincial Junior Hockey League, OHA wants us to call ourselves just junior hockey, but that's what we are. The level we play at is still a business. We're a community team, but we still have to raise the money to put the product on the ice and especially be a competitive product. So it's a business. So one of the things that we've been doing prior to COVID, we actually were doing that. We used to do a licensed lounge downstairs outside of the rink, and it was fine. It was still a convenience for the fans, but it was out of sight, out of mind. So now that we were able, just prior to, I would say probably 2018, 2019 is when we started serving alcohol in the stands. And this year, I think, again, special circumstances with no hockey for a year and everyone coming back out of it. And the 50th coming up next year, and this wall of honor that we introduced, it really brought a lot of different people and former players and alumni back out to the games. So it made the alcohol and even a little more,
awesome.
Then it was in the past. Like, honestly, we would do normally like, a good night for us to be 7-8 cases. And in our semifinals against Moretown and in our finals against Lakeshore, we were doing upwards of 30 to 50 cases a game.
You're welcome.
So yeah, Rob had his share, your share. And
no, but you guys had like packed houses though. Like the barn was full.
yeah, we had good crowds. I mean, a couple games, I'm not sure they announced the right crowds. I mean, I know what that arena sits, and I know when we announced during a regular season, we have 500 or 600 people. I know what that is compared to what we had in a few of those games. So I would say that pretty much every game against Moretown and certainly every game against Lakeshore was well over 1,000. And that's good. That rink holds comfortably 15 to 1,700 people. There's lots of standing room. I still think it's outside of perhaps maybe the WFCU center. I mean, for community and municipal rink, I still like our rink. I'll put it up against any rink. Leamington's got the bowl, but I don't like the big ice surface. I like that they don't need to have a screening all the way around the rink. That's nice, but I find it dark.
Yes.
And then we have the bowl seating, which a lot of the rinks don't have. So we have some things you can probably point out to think that it's a little goofy, like that short ceiling and that. But
I was just gonna say that.
It doesn't really come into you do. It doesn't really come into effect too much. But I like that our seating is bowl and it's right in the action.
Yeah.
You feel like you're part of the game.
You're right on top.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. So
you can hear everything Kyle Flood says.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
you can hear anything from what he says from his house.
Well, it's a better atmosphere, I think, for a fan. I know the players enjoy playing it, or people right on top of you, but it's a business, and that's the alcohol was part of it. And we had a terrific year in terms of on ice performance, financially and on ice. So it was good too. We just had our awards banquet last night. I missed it, but I guess the hardware was handed out, and there's lots of good things to be said and looking forward. So
Nice.
yeah.
Nice. So now let's get to the elephant in the room. What do you know what happened with Danny?
With Danny Inger?
Yeah.
Just from what I was told, obviously being an executive, it cycles back up to us, right? But he basically had some long thought about it and determined that he feels that the team is good enough team this year that they should have won, and he feels that that the team might need a different voice. So
that's a huge step down though.
It is. I mean, he's quite busy in life, and he's quite busy in camps and training, and I think he's going to be back involved with the Sun County program. He likes to teach and he likes to coach, and he's still going to do that. But I was a little disappointed when I heard the news, as I'm sure our manager was, Mike. But it comes with it, and it's just part of the territory. But we wish him all the best, and I have nothing else to report on, really. I don't know anymore.
Do you think Danny may have felt a little bit of pressure with Mike behind the bench?
I don't know what played into that. Mike's the manager. Mike works for the executive. Everybody that's on the bench or on the staff works for Mike. So they answer to Mike, and Mike answers to us. And so those decisions on the game by game, who's got the lineup, who's playing goal, who's on the bench, who isn't, that I wouldn't be privy to all that stuff. But I reading into it and trying to answer your question as best as I could, I don't think so. I don't think so at all. I think they communicated well throughout the year, I believe, and I think that they had a good work relationship. Why Mike ended up on the bench for some games near the end, I don't know why, but we didn't do bad. We didn't do bad with him on the bench, and we didn't do bad when he wasn't on the bench. So.
Yeah, but I heard that was because Jamie went away. They needed the extra guy to help out.
Yeah.
And then Jeff Brett went away the following series, and he was.
So Mike was going to fill him in.
Right.
Yeah.
But then when it came right down to it and everybody was back, they said, I heard it went to a vote and Mike was voted to stay on the bench.
Again, I'm not privy to that neither. I would think that Mike could make any decision Mike wants to make. He's the manager.
That's what he does. That's what he does.
So if I would think that it was a group decision as to how it would work. It's a little odd the way we ran our bench versus the traditional 3 guys on the bench.
Yep.
I know on the NHL level, you might get the 4 on the bench. You have special teams guy, you have a defense guy, you have a forward guy, and you have a coach, right? Mm-hmm. So we did a little differently this year. And
was it 5?
We had four. Yeah. So when Mike wasn't on, it was usually Danny was our coach, and then our other bench coaches, assistant coaches were Jamie, Chad, and Jeff Brett.
Right.
And you're right. There was some vacation time taken where Mike had to step in because they still wanted to keep the four on the bench. And then I think maybe when one guy came back or another guy came back, it was kind of like, let's not jinx the team. We're playing well. Mike's behind there. Let's just keep it status quo.
Yeah.
But whatever decision was made, I know that was made as a group.
Now, do you think that the new coach will come from within the staff, what we have right now?
I can't comment on that because I know Mike is still doing interviews and he hasn't really.
I think I know who it's going to be, and I haven't talked to Mike or anybody. I think it's going to be within the staff, and I think it's going to be Mr. Jamie McDermott is my pick for it. I think he'd be perfect because he's hard on the boys, right?
Oh, he's an asshole. Yeah, I know. I get it.
But I think he would be a great fit. I think he would be an awesome.
Sure, he knows what he's doing too.
Exactly.
Right? He had a great mentor, and didn't he work with Les Garrett too?
No, he's worked primarily as an assistant to Tony for 9 years in Essex, and then I think 5 or 6 or 7 in Leamington. And then he just recently came back to work with Danny. He's never expressed any interest to be a head coach. I know when Tony left, there was some desire to see if Jamie would like to stay behind and coach, and he didn't want to at the time. So if he did, Jamie, it'd be his decision, but he's never expressed an interest to me that he wants to be a head coach. And I haven't talked to him since Dan's departure to even feel him out as to whether or not he's staying. Matter of fact, I don't know even if the rest of the guys are staying. I have no idea what the discussion's been on the exit meetings. I know they had their exit meetings, and I know this, they're going to have to find a coach. One way or the other, one or two things are going to happen, guys. Either they're going to bring in a whole new coach who brings in all his own staff, or they're going to try to find a guy who can come in and is willing to work with the existing guys that we have. And one may be easier than the other to fill, but I have all the faith in the world that Mike Paley is going to be able to find the right fit for the 73s.
He really seems to have a handle on that team, that's for sure. I heard there was rumors Tony Porowski coming back too. There was some mumblings and rumblings about that.
Again, if you heard it, it's all rumors. I can't. Honestly, I wish I could give you that bone, but I can't because I really don't know. And I could probably do some guessing along with. No, I mean a lot of people on the outside of the organization might think that our executive have a lot to say in the on ice product and how it's being ran on ice, and we really don't. Mike's our guy. We hired Mike. Mike hires the staff. Mike rolls out the plans and how they're going to do things with the coaching. And about all we do is support them, do the fundraising, try to make sure we have when they have a need for something that we can fulfill it. We try not to get involved with it because when you start getting involved, it's like an owner. Can you just imagine an owner? He names a guy to be a superintendent, yet he's doing the superintendent's job. Well, then what are you hiring him for, right? So we have to have faith that Mike hires the right people, and we'll let Mike know when we feel that there's a problem or there's something needs to be addressed.
I heard Todd Warner. I'm just making shit up now.
That would be cool, though.
That would be really cool.
Yeah, I really don't even know who's really in play because on a local level, you got your Spits are still playing, the Flyers are still playing, Maroons are still playing. A lot of those teams are really close to our area, and they have some local people involved with them. So I don't know.
Could be looking at assistant coaches off any of
That's what I was gonna. Now, does a coach does a coach have to be hired by a certain date, or is this just whenever it happens, it happens?
Well, don't they have many camps coming up?
We have our camps next week, so I'm sure that it'll be Mike and the existing staff that's left from last year that will be attending those camps and assessing the players. Okay. But I wouldn't be surprised if Mike makes an announcement. I'll put it this way: Mike must have a really good idea of a short list because I do the social media for the 73s and I do the website, and he hasn't told me yet to put an ad up and look in search of our coach. So he must
something up his sleeve. Yeah.
So yeah, I think he feels perhaps comfortable with the short list of guys he's talking to. And I'm just saying, guys, it could be a woman. I don't know. I'm just saying he might have his eye on somebody, and
Is there any?
he's also got some university, right? He worked
Yeah.
he worked with the university hockey team, so maybe he's got somebody in mind from that staff or from years past, and who knows? Maybe he's even drumming up guys. They may have been our organization a few years ago, and maybe have left, and maybe there's an appetite to come back.
Joe knows something.
I do not, honestly. I would tell you whatever I could tell you.
Let's get
But
it.
I know what I'm telling you right now is exactly what I know.
I just love sort of.
Well, actually, I'm going to be the head coach. I'm taking on a little more. I'm taking on some more things.
That's funny.
Hey, Joe, it seems that you're not got so much going on.
Yeah.
I'm coaching this
Take over the
team.
coaching. Yeah.
Just away games.
There's something I never really. I mean, I did it maybe a year at the minor hockey level. I think I sucked at it. I did it recreationally with hockey teams and stuff. I was involved with whether it be ice hockey or hockey, but never had to stay involved with hockey at the coaching level. Maybe I'm just not smart enough for it. I don't know.
You got plenty of smarts there, Joe.
Or you just don't have the patience.
But
Yeah, patience is a lot of it.
we've had some guys on here and you know, like talk about you know, either playing ball, hockey with you, baseball, whatever. But I remember Jay McFadden coming on. He was the goalie for
Yeah.
you and your brother and your dad.
Yeah.
Wasn't it?
Bam.
He tells the story where your dad's yelling at him to come over and needs to talk to him.
Yeah.
He goes, "You don't fucking stop anything."
That's a goaltender to a goaltender. He's supposed to be. I'm supposed to be telling him what I would want to hear if I was a goalie, and that's exactly what I would like to hear. Well, there was a game we played, and I don't remember who it was. It doesn't really matter, but I do remember there was a couple goaltender changes within the same game. Jay was in. He came out. The other guy stunk it up. We put Jay back in. We yanked him again. So, but it did only happen once. Jay, our team was a good bunch of guys. We had some good parents as well, just not a very good team. And that maybe had something to do with the coaching too. But it was a fun year and we had fun, but yeah, I mean, Jay was a pretty good goalie. I never had a problem with Jay. Good guy.
He's like, Frank asked me if I ever played the position before.
That'd be my dad, yeah. Can I ask you a question? Why do you want to play goalie? Because you're not very good. That'd be my dad, yeah, for sure. When he's not throwing coffee on people in the middle of fights.
I just was, and we had a little help.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Good
Hey,
time.
one thing I always wondered, so for the board there for the like 73s, how do you get on the board? Do you have to be voted in? Do you kind of run for a spot? Like how does all that work?
Well, again, I'll clear up another misconception. It's definitely not a clique. We do have some long-serving members on there, and I'm 13 years, maybe 14 now, and I wouldn't consider myself a long-serving. There's some guys that have been on there since the 90s, right? So everyone has a role to do, but to answer your question, we're allowed, our constitution is 15 board members. And whenever there's an opening that comes up, we kind of just discuss it amongst ourselves and say, anyone know anybody, any ideas, throw some names out. And it's kind of like, yeah, go see them. So I know this year, I think we have 2 that are going to be stepping down. And then next year, just to get through the 50th, we have 3 more that are going to step down. So we're going to be adding 5 new people within the next year and a half. Wow. But we'll certainly be adding 2 or 3 for sure. And we're kind of handpicking. We're losing some valuable key positions on the executive. These are guys that do the books and sell sponsorship and stuff like that. So we have many people on our board that have that do certain things, game day things. We don't need more of them. We need people now that can step up, and alumni, people that want to be involved with the alumni. That's a big thing now with this 50th coming up in the Wall of Honor. So yeah, it's kind of just an existing board member would seek somebody out. A letter of reference would come into the board, and then we put them on.
Oh, okay.
And we've had male, we've had females, all ages. So
you get paid for it?
No pay, no pay, and very little perks. That's another thing people think. Oh, we get this and you get that, and then you have your banquet. It's free meals, and it's not. I mean, whatever we do an event, whether it's a Legends Night and it's a $50 ticket, or it's a banquet like yesterday, we pay. So. I mean, it's kind of, you are paying yourself, but at the end of the day,
Do you get to go on the cruise?
we do pay, and you pay.
Yeah.
And that's another misconception when we do our cruise, that it's a free cruise. It's not. The players have to sell the tickets. I went on one time in all the years I've been involved. That's the story in itself for later on. But I remember, I don't think I saw any sunsets.
Come on.
But I did make one of the meals, but I paid my way to be on there. And everyone does. By selling tickets or making up the difference out of your pocket or paying it all out of your
cost to go on that cruise.
It varies. It's somewhere in the neighborhood around $1,200 Canadian.
What is it? 4 nights?
We leave on Friday morning, very early in the morning. Bus picks them up at the arena, brings us over to the Detroit airport. Fly out, we're in usually Orlando, depending if we're what port they're going out of. Last time I was out of Port Canaveral, so they brought us into the Orlando airport. A shuttle bus from there to the port, and you get on there, and you're on their boat Friday at 1 o'clock. It was about right. Smashed by 5. The boat hasn't even left. Yeah, and then you're there for the Friday night, the Saturday night, and the Sunday night, and we come back early Monday. But I'll tell you one quick story, and it's back in Tony Peroski's day. He often tells it whenever I bump into him, where there's a group of people around. He tells a story. He says one of the players, he's in the hot tub having a few drinks and with the guys and some girls and doing what you do right when you go away, and he's having a blast. Anyways, he's half cut, and Tony comes walking by and says, "Coach, I gotta tell you, this is the greatest time ever. I've never had so much fun in all my life." And Tony goes, "We haven't even left the dock yet." Tony was said, "They haven't even left the dock," and that's how good of a time this guy was having. Anyways, yeah.
Well, you're on a cruise, and they are good times.
Cruise is fun. I mean, it's all, of course, it's all weather related. Yeah, food. Jonesy, one of the tips Jonesy gave me, he says, "Now listen, I know you're going to want to get to that bar right away." He says, "I'm telling you, it's a long day. Make sure you hit the buffet first, get some grub." So I did that. I made dinner, and that was it.
Come on.
And the boat hadn't even left yet.
Because it always sails at night.
Well, you think it's moving, but it takes a while to get going.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, it's good time. But yeah, all those things, all those fun things and that. I mean, the players do a great job selling tickets at it, and
you see them all over town when they do that.
Yeah, and that's something we really missed in those COVID times where just couldn't raise any money. We weren't playing. We had a lot of the kids lost their last years of hockey, and so
it's awful.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna ask, does the guys eat in the room after the game? Like, is there ever meals brought in for them or anything like that?
Yeah, we take care of the boys pretty good. I mean, we have good sponsors. Again, on our home days, we go back to the local places, whether it be Armando's or Krabby's or the Legion or whatever, and we give them some grub. It's nothing major, but it's a meal. Okay. And when they go on their bus trips, they also get sandwiches on the bus or subs or pizza or whatever it is. Wraps, that kind of stuff. And then when we're fortunate enough to be in our Ontarios, if we would advance past our league, then you would have been having the stops along the road for dinners in different towns and stuff like that, and sometimes stayovers. A little different this year with the way they're doing it with the tournament style. It's a little strange, but
did you happen to make it out to any of the Lakeshore games, like out there? Essex played?
When Essex played, yes, I went to 2 of the 3 games.
So what was their reason not having 50-50, no beer, no like?
So unlike the Essex 73s, that team has an owner. So when you buy a ticket to our game, and let's say it's a $10 adult ticket, we don't pay any tax on that ticket. Okay. If you buy a $10 ticket off of them, they have to remit the tax portion of that, so they don't get it all. Now, because they're owned and they're not a nonprofit organization, they're not entitled to apply for liquor permits. They're not entitled to apply for raffle or for 50-50.
Oh, okay.
So when they did have all that stuff, they were using another nonprofit group, And I'm not sure what happened, but
like the Kinsmen would come in and sell 50-50?
yeah, I think minor hockey was doing 50-50 and maybe giving them a split. And I think there was maybe St. Clair College or somebody was helping them with the liquor part of it. But then, I mean, with the liquor, it is fun and it is good. And you hope nothing goes wrong, but there's so much responsibility and costs associated with now. A lot of people are just washing. I know a lot of municipality events, festivals, they're washing their hands with it because it's a big risk.
Yeah.
Anybody gets hurt or underage leaves drunk,
Well, and to make sure you've got your I's dotted and your T's crossed, you got to spend all kinds of money in security, in everything. So it's tough to make $1. You're selling beers for $10, telling people it's $10 to get in the gate, $10 to buy a beer. Now it's a 1-year thing. Like I'm talking about something like the Fun Fest is a 1-year thing. So people go, hey, it's our beer tent. We're going to go have a good time. It's costly, but it's only costly 1 day of the year or 1 week of the year. So, but it's tough. It's a struggle.
I love the golf tournament.
You like the golf tournament?
Oh, I love the golf tournament.
Yeah, we've had very good success. And I can't give credit to anybody else except for COVID came and it changed the way that we were able to do our golf tournament. So instead of shotgun starts and having a maximum of 144 golfers, we had to go to tee times. But we ended up doing it a time of year where we have our team almost picked. We get more participation from the team and the players. Where we used to have it in May, the season's over, the players are gone. And now we're just relying on alumni and fans and anybody who likes to golf that maybe just wants to participate. Well, now we're getting 180 plus golfers out, and I'm finding that some of them don't want to golf at 8 in. They're happy to go off at 10 or 11 or 12. So
what time did we go off?
That's us.
Yeah.
I think we went around 10-ish, I want to say.
Yeah, I think I usually get you guys in around at 10:30, but we do have some people that request like, I want to go out. What's the first time? 7:20. I want it. Because I got to work in the afternoon, maybe, right?
Oh, okay.
And then we have others that say, I work in the morning and I'm happy going off at noon.
Yeah.
Kind of miss the the meal and all that at the end. That kind of sucked.
Yeah, you don't have
a good time when you get to hang around with the guys. And
there's no camaraderie, no.
It's like you're in the parking lot, you're gone. Everybody else.
Well, and the purpose of that over the last couple of years has been because of COVID. They don't want that, right?
No, I understand.
So, yeah, I mean, there's years we used to do the shotgun and stay there for a meal, or do the shotgun, come back to the Legion and do a barbecue, which was also fun.
That would be great.
Yeah, and then, the wives would join,
and the beer's cheap.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you get to plug the local community with the Legion and all that,
yeah.
Which was awesome.
So now we end up golfing, and then the last couple of years, it's kind of just pick up a party somewhere at someone's house, right? And you get pockets of guys here and there. This year, we're talking about maybe doing something and getting everyone back together, whether it be back at the Legion or a hospitality tent in someone's backyard or whatever, right?
Out of here. Where the fuck take that?
Joe gives him the old tap. Like, hey, Rob. No, I love that tournament though. It's
thanks.
Fun.
Well, you support it too, right? You sponsor it and you bring out 2 foursomes, so it's appreciated. So, and you always get your spot the next year.
Yeah, we pick up numbers from the boys, and you know what I mean. We got a few guests that came on the show from the tournament too.
Well, I want to tell you, I think I was one of your earlier guests on your show, and I don't listen to.
I think it was.
Yeah, I don't listen to all of them, but the obviously you guys have gotten comfortable in what you're doing. The production is borderline pro now, and you're getting great guests on there. And again, you're keeping it local and you're keeping people's interest. So I applaud you for that. Good job.
Thanks. When we were talking to Mike before, Mike actually, like, he took the position, and like, I remember sitting at Misty's house with Ant and whatever. We're just shooting the shit, and Ant and I are talking to Mike about how important it is to have local guys on the team that put asses in the seats. You know what I mean? So I thought Mike did a fantastic job with the new regime that he brought in. Especially starting at the top with the coaches.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Almost every one of them is local boys or have played for the 73s.
Yeah. I like that they kept I do like they kept the local flavor. Sometimes though, that is, your hands are tied, right? We are indebted to our sponsors and our fans and ourselves and our executive to put us, our history, right? When we lose to Lakeshore or we fall short in our playoffs, we don't get to the All Ontarios, it's a big disappointment, but those are big goals we set for ourselves. But so, I mean, we're very pleased with Mike. I don't think that, actually, when the personnel committee selected Mike and made the recommendation to the board that we should hire him, I think they had it figured that he was a great guy for the job and he'd do a good job. So I don't even think that they're even surprised about it.
No.
And neither am I, because I've known Mike. I've known Mike. You know what Mike's got going for him is he's got his demeanor and he doesn't fly off the handle, right? He's got the right temperament for the job. Yeah, he's a good communicator, and I think he brings in that when he's talking to the players or he's talking to the staff, he brings that demand for respect, but it's not by an effort; it's just natural. Yeah. So and that's what makes a manager and a coach good, when they can just come across as, we know when there's times to goof around and have fun, and we know there's times where we got to. So, nothing but good things to say about Mike.
Yeah, I think the players really respect that guy. Like I've never heard one bad thing about him. And we've had a lot of guys on that can talk after the podcast and say whatever they want, but not one has ever said anything bad about Mike. Well,
he was able to get Jamie McDermott, who kind of
off the couch.
Yeah, I mean, Jamie had some health issues and he's been out of the game, but not away from the game. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Still in touch with the game, but he's raising a family too, and he's got a job that's got a lot of importance with it. And just to get him back involved, and I heard it didn't take much convincing, because that's the type of guy Mike is, right?
Yeah.
I think Jamie just got the question from Mike and he believed in what Mike was telling him and wanted to help. So
I think Mike also told him that he put up another fan in his house.
Have the fire extinguisher close by.
It's a nightstand.
Well, I don't know. It might not be Mike's fault, because we just installed a couple of fans, my wife and I, and one day all of a sudden the fan's not working, the light won't go on, and I'm like, we call the supplier, the maker of it, and they said could be electrical, and we're like, but we're just following the steps and doing our thing, right? But anything's possible. Electricians
turn on the fan, the toilet flushes, you're like
yeah. But we got to blame that one on Mike. He has no business.
The fan,
installing a fan.
Just yank it there. Why is the microwave on? As soon as you pull it, the microwave turns on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, so is there going to be anything like new at the rink next year when it comes to like the fan, like for fans at the game? Like, is there like games, or I don't know, just how pro teams do a whole bunch of shit at the games or whatever? Is there any like nice stuff? I know you guys do the everything, and
I think we run a pretty pro game day. I mean, we have some limitations. We got net there, so it's not like back in the day we used to chuck a puck and stuff like that. But I mean, we have good sponsors. We give quite a bit of things away. One of the things I think we want to go back to next year, and we're going to be having a discussion shortly, is going back to a true box office ticket with a seat and a row. And we found that the way we've been doing it, because of COVID, you couldn't sit so many people together. So we've been saying, well, you've got a season ticket, but it's general admission. But if you want a season ticket with a number in a row on it, you can ask somebody to move. Where before it was like, the owners of those seats were pretty, you're in my seat, move, right? So we want to get back to that, because we found that a lot of our giveaway stuff, we weren't getting claimed because we were calling like these goofy numbers, like check a game day ticket, and if it's orange and it says box office and it's student and the number last 7 digits are 1938472, people are like, what? Where the other way, you're a season ticket all year and you just know your section, your row, and your seat, right? And so I think our gifting giveaway this year is probably down, I'd say probably 20%. And it's important to our sponsors that we give that stuff away because that's part of the sponsorship, right? Branding themselves in that. So yeah, we're always looking for ideas. If you got any, we really want to try to reinvent. It's a tough one. We're trying to reinvent that Scoro challenge because not that I don't like shooting Shad, but it's every game Shad, right? His shooting percentage from the blue line is better than it is from the hash marks, believe it or not. But
we're up in the stands and Shad comes up and Lou says to him, Shad, you missed the net. He's like, I know, but I tried.
Yeah. Great guy, but
awesome. I love him.
A couple of years ago, we were having the play because what happens is some of the fans don't want to go on the ice, right? They're afraid they might fall or whatever, right? And it's embarrassing, and and they do it right after the flood.
Yeah.
So one of the things we did a couple of years back is we had the fan pick a player. I'll take number 9 to shoot for me. So number 9, but now we had to take number 9. Maybe the coach wanted to have a good chat with him in the dressing room, but now 9's preoccupied with staying out there to do a shot. And then if he misses, it's kind of embarrassing because he's a junior hockey player. Right. And he misses the net. So we got a great sponsor for it. We didn't give out near the amount of money we'd like to give out. So, and we even have, I don't know if you could tell, but there's more holes in the sign than there is sign. So just hit the net and you're likely going to win some money.
It's a slot, not a hole.
So maybe what we might do.
I would shoot it on net and I would hit the one fucking spot that stops the puck.
Yeah.
That would be my fucking luck.
So we might have to just figure something different out. Like maybe we got to move them all in from the same spot and maybe just make it so that there's
cut out the corners, Joe. Cut out the corners. You hit high, it's more cash.
Have them do riskers, high riskers.
Fuck yeah!
I can't get in the fiddle on the ice right now, and the hole this big. In the bottom of each corner, the hole's this wide.
Why have a board?
Yeah.
Cut out all the corners. The corners in the 5 hole and have it whatever.
Because what do you win for that?
So depending on where you shoot from, the further back you are, you win more money. If you get it in the middle, you win more money. But if you get it, it's like a carnival game, right? And if you get it in the corner ones, which are bigger, you win less.
Wow.
So the smart play, honestly, is just to shoot it from maybe the red line and just hope that you get either $100 or I think it's 50s if you get the ends. The most you can make is $250 if you shoot from the blue line and you get it in the middle hole. Now we used to do a one prize for $1,000, but it was so impossible. Like I think we had over the years, I can recall maybe 3 or 4 winners. So we thought, well, we want to give money away. Our sponsor wants to give money away. We want people to cheer the person on. So we tried to come up with some different ideas where we don't want to give all the money away in one shot. We want to last the whole year. So we're thinking like we can, we got a couple $1,000 to give away and
shoot from the far end.
Yeah. Well, one of the things
just on the open net, like no board
far end holes and everything from the far end.
A really good game
you just
day.
said from the blue line, they fucking kept all their money.
Shoot.
You think somebody's going to shoot even further and going to make it?
You're right, Doggy. Make it interesting. Get the barn rocking, Rob.
Our biggest game day event is still the 50-50 draw.
Yeah.
I mean, it's unbelievable the amount. Like people come in from out of town for different teams, and they think like, okay, well, maybe it's going to be a couple $100 or something. They just can't believe it. Even on a regular season, I don't think we were less than $500 on a Tuesday night regular season against a Wallaceburg.
Yeah.
You know, so and then come playoff time, we're always in that 14 to 1800 range. So that's a good one for us. But yeah, game day, all your ideas. I like Billy Ritter's that he had a couple years ago with the soccer with the plastic dome things, and you're running. I seen that in Tampa Bay. I went to a game in Tampa Bay, and these 2 clowns, and I'm like, what's going to happen here? And the object was to keep a ball. You have like a minute on the clock or 2 minutes on the clock, and you run from one corner to the other corner. The ball's in the middle, and the object is to just make sure that when the clock goes off, the ball's on your side and not on my side, and I win the prize. Yeah, and they're banging them over. And it was fun. Yeah.
Throw me out there with Rob.
Yeah.
Evan Belarjon and Bodie.
Oh my God.
Were in those. Ritter brought him out to Evan's party, and they started that one. And like it was.
That is 2 large lads.
Those are 2 big men.
Yeah.
Oh God.
It's so funny.
That
is a really good idea, though.
Yeah, it is. And every time
you really can't get hurt. Like you're not going to fall on your knees, right? Like your knees are inside the bubble.
Yeah, no, it's pretty safe, according to Billy. It's pretty safe, but it's just something I wanted to try, and we've never been able to get to it. I don't even know if he does it anymore. I'm not sure. Yeah. So
what about the races where they wear something or whatever, and they got to do like a lap around the ice or something around the nets, and then
I mean,
they're asking for split skulls.
a lot of the issues we have with anything on ice is, again, it's the lack or the hesitation to participate because they're elderly or they don't want to go on the ice and get hurt.
And it's a small town. It's not like you're at Windsor Arena and you're riding that tricycle around the.
And we don't do a jumbotron, right?
Yeah.
But we don't do a jumbotron that helps sell that type of an event. Yeah. But anyways, lots of good things. We're hoping next year's our 50th year, 50th season. So we're in the stages of just kind of setting that off and how we're going to do different events. I mean, we got a really big one coming up in August with the Wall of Honor inductees ceremony. It's a whole weekend. It's a huge budget. And it's going to be, we hope, will be the biggest event in 73's history, but we're hoping it might be one of the biggest events in the town's history.
So how did you come about with that idea?
Well, the Wall of Honor is something that I'm sure others before me, even on the board and throughout the years, have thought about doing. Just never came to fruition. And then back in, I think 2014, I brought it up again and started doing some homework on it, of course, right? Seeing other teams and organizations that do it. And then it kind of sat stale again. Life gets busy and things get put to the back burner. And then last year, it came up again because I made it, brought everyone's attention that we were coming up on our 50th year, and it might be a good time to finally give credit to and honor some of these members of our organization that have been, waiting since the 70s or 80s when they last were involved to be recognized. Not that anyone was asking for it or hoping for it. One of the things we don't want to do is we're of the opinion that retiring shirts and doing that sort of a thing is, we don't want to do that anymore. We've got the ones that we've got retired, and that's great. But moving forward, we just kind of want the Wall of Honor will kind of take care of a lot of the stuff. So
eventually run out of numbers. Right?
Yeah, so it's going to be a big event. When we announced the Wall of Honor dealing and what was going down, there was a huge buzz around it. A lot of people were excited. So much interest from the past players and that, especially the ones that were named either nominees or named as top 100. And we have a list that I haven't shown, we haven't released anymore. I brought it here tonight, and I might give Rob a little peek at it later. But we also just put together our all-decade teams. So we have our team of the 70s, the 80s, and so on.
That's cool.
And the really cool thing about this Wall of Honor is that it's not a one-time deal. So we don't want the wall to mean something, and we knew that the first year was probably going to be a big class of inductees because we're dealing with it with 50 years almost here. But we couldn't get them all in. It's not to say they're not going to get in, but we couldn't get them all in. It's just, it's going to be ongoing. I mean, we haven't set we're going to let this year play out. And then during the 50th, we're going to figure out the committee, the process moving forward and how it's going to work. But it was tough. I mean, I brought a sheet here that we came up with our selection committee of our 10 commandments, basically, for the Wall of Honor, and what it meant, and the rules that we want whoever's going to be sitting on a committee to follow moving forward. And that's kind of how that's what we use as a tool for our selection process to get to where we got to. So, yeah.
Did you ever think about doing something like in the free press? You know how when the playoffs come up and you get 5 groups in each category on pick a guy, you know what I mean? And voted in by the fans.
Well, this time around, we did talk about it. There was some conversation about the fan element and the public element. We felt that there was enough. The committee we put together, the 6 people that are on the committee, including myself, we felt we had enough know-how and ability and information for the first time around to get the right ones. now moving forward is what we got to discuss. How do we want to do it going forward? Can we have a fan choice? One of the things we wanted to make sure that this committee did was we wanted to make sure that it was a democratic process and that there was no biases involved, as much bias as possible left off. And when it comes to fan voting, that's exactly what happens, right? You just end up voting for the person you like. So could we have a category moving forward that's fans' choice? Sure, we could.
That'd be cool.
Sure, we could. We could put some parameters to it, right? Yeah, anything's possible.
So how many names a year would go on that wall after this year?
Well, see this,
two, like how many a year?
Well, we walked into this year with 850 some odd players and something like 170 some staff. We didn't even get it. There was some talk about what about fans and what about, like, you know, sponsors and stuff like that. We just felt the first year, let's focus on getting it going and focus on the players, the staff, and that's what we did. But so we didn't even know this year how many we're going to get on. What we thought would be a cool idea was, hey, 50 years, 50 players. Yeah. But we couldn't get there. We felt that if we would have got to 50 this year in the first year, there was a good possibility based on the criteria that we used. We might have had to go to even 80 or 90 guys, because when we started getting to 50, there's not much separating the 50 and the 70, 80, right? So, and just like the top 100 list, there's some people that probably are disappointed they're not on that list, but I'll be perfectly honest with you. There could have been another 50 we could have named in that 100 that we didn't forget, just didn't land on there, but you're splitting hairs between why one got in and why one didn't. Yeah. So
I know a person that thought like 97 of them were terrible ideas, and there would only have been 4 on the list.
Well, again, one of the things that we did off the hop was, you know, once we figure out what's the meaning of the wall, then we had to come up with all the complete historical and statistics on everybody and the information on everybody that played. And I'm talking everybody. I mean, there wasn't one player or coach or staff member that wasn't discussed from time to time. And we wanted a democratic process. We didn't want something where we were leaving biases out there. We want to protect the integrity of the wall, and we want to establish a bar. And where do you establish a bar? You got a guy like Keith Crowder and Bruce Crowder. If you use them as the bar, no one else gets in. No. So we had to get a bar a little bit lower than that, but maybe a little bit higher than me, for example, right? Then we also we said, okay, well, how can we make things easier on the selection committee? Because not all of us seen everybody play. We have some stats to go by, and we're going to have some discussions and some stories, and but we have different eras also to consider. Like, you're talking about a guy that played in the 70s in a scoring era versus a guy that plays now. You know, one guy's getting 120 points, another guy now is a great player, he's getting 50 points. Right. So we had to do all that. So we came up
systems now.
Yeah, so we came up with we said, well, let's develop an algorithm. So something that we could put the stuff in that will draw weighted factors and point system. So when we get to the end of every player and every manager, we have a number. Smart. And then once we got that number, it was a great reference for guys like myself that said, well, I don't remember seeing a guy like Randy Pritchard play. But if this number you're given, that Randy's number is the same as, say, an Adam Garon, who I definitely seen play, then I can use some subtle judgments there and say, same type of player, right, just in a different era, right? That's kind of how and that's kind of how we did it. And then we had lots of meaningful discussions amongst the committee, even discussions outside of the committee. So when we weren't meeting, we were talking to the Tony Peroskis and we were talking to the Gil Langloises. We were talking to the Tanner Gallants. We were talking to the Kevin Millers. We were just trying to talk to everybody we talked to get feelings, like, and without them even knowing what we're doing. Like, tell me like 3 guys you played with, 3 defensemen when you played, and who'd you say your best 3 that you played with and why? You know, and I would do it casually with them. Yeah. So not to make them, you know, feel they have to say somebody.
Because I heard Kazi was just ecstatic when he made the top 100, right? Like it was an honor for him.
Yeah.
And so it should be. Like, you're amongst some great players that played in the county.
Yeah, I mean,
no one did that. You did that, like, you know what I mean? Like,
there's so many guys that came through, and we'll talk about players that came through and played here, and some of them just, it was a stop along the way somewhere else, and you have to remind them they played here.
Yeah.
And for others, they were only here for a flash in a pan, but it meant the world to them. Right. We have others that preferred to stay here and play, like myself, Kevin Miller, just guys I could think of, Ted LaBrache. These guys, we all could have played at a higher level and in the city, and we chose to stay in our hometown and play. Because growing up, we wanted to be a 73.
Well, the thing that comes to mind every time I think about the 73s and somebody not from this town is Matt Ryder.
Yep.
And like, he sat right here and basically started crying, talking about Bleeding Orange and how much it meant to him to be a 73 and how like it was one of the biggest parts of his life. Like, and I'm just looking at him like, holy shit, you're from Riverside, and this was everything to him.
We haven't. So when we got in contact with all the people that were nominated, just nominated, not inducted, just nominated. You made the nomination list, the short list of X amount of players, and then we're going to be going to induction ballots in the next couple of weeks. We'll keep you in the loop. And this was what we went through, 800 and some players, and after these discussions, you're named. We got emails back from guys, and there's one guy that's from Riverside who played 1 year in Essex, who went on to play junior B, and then from there went on to play 4 years of collegiate hockey with Bowling Green, was a 2-time Hobie Baker finalist, went on to coach and went on to play, I think, 11 or 9 years pro in Europe, who basically said that the best year in hockey that he ever had was that 1 year in 1978 playing for the Essex 73s. And I don't think he's blowing smoke up our ass when he says that. I really genuinely think it's unbelievable that the replies I'm getting from nominees and inductees and their stories that they're leaving with them. And this, what's going to be good about this induction ceremony is that's going to be, open for everybody who attends, and we're going to be streaming it live as well. So if you can't attend, you can watch it.
Now, is there a dinner or?
It's a dinner. It's a whole bit. Yeah. So, but back to the process. So once we had all our meaningful discussions and stuff like that, and now it came down to, okay, well, we have to have a nomination process. How are we going to do the nomination process? So how it kind of worked was, again, we didn't sit there and say, well, I think he should be on the wall. Let's just put him on the wall. It was Rob Sawyer. I'm going to nominate Rob Sawyer. Well, Rob Sawyer had to have 4 other guys of 6 put their hand up for him to be nominated. If he didn't get the support, then he came off the nominations this year.
Right.
Doesn't mean he's off forever. So Joe Garon has to pick another guy now. So I picked, Kevin Miller. Well, if Kevin Miller gets the support of the rest of the guys, then he is now an official nominee. Mm-hmm. Now all it means is that he can be considered for induction.
Right.
So once we got that nomination list down to, I believe it was 50 people or something like that, then each member of the selection committee, 6 of us, had more conversations, and we kind of all discussed, well, I nominated Kevin Miller, for example, so this is why I nominated, this is why I believe that you guys should vote for him. So those were the discussions we had. Then they went home for 2 weeks and they had a ballot with all the names on it, and they were to select 20 people from that list or whatever it was to go down on a piece of paper in an order of 1 to whatever. And depending on where they put that person's name, they got points.
Oh, okay.
Now to be inducted, we met as a group. We opened up the envelopes, the sealed envelopes. We pulled out each ballot and we started calculating. And for you to get inducted, you needed to be on 5 of 6 ballots, and you needed to have a certain amount of points. And if you didn't, then you didn't get on. And if you did, you got on. So from that process, we ended up with what we ended up with. We didn't know if we were going to end up with 40 or 20 or so. Now, moving forward, we got to figure out how we're going to do it next year. And again, we're going to have to raise the bar, because if we don't raise the bar a little bit, then everybody that was nominated this year would just fall in line and get on again, because we do the same vote process. So maybe next year it'll just be a little bit tougher, but the cream will still rise to the top, so to speak.
Yeah. I want to know where would be a cool place to have the whole freaking, because you guys do a like meal and all that stuff, you said, right?
Yeah.
To do it on the like surface, not saying that there's ice, but like at the rink on the like surface, everything set up. Fucking, wouldn't that be sweet though?
Can I use that idea?
Huh?
Can I use that idea?
Use it, but I think that's
exactly where it's going. There you go, buddy. Yeah,
no, but I didn't know that. That's why I was thinking, like, wow, that'd be cool to have it like right at the rink on the
yeah. So I'll tell you a little bit about the weekend. We got lots of events planned, something for everybody. On the Friday night, the 26th of August, we have alumni game on Rink B, which is the 1973 to 1999 guys.
Oh boy.
And then following that game, about an hour after that game, there's our second alumni game, which is the 2000 to 2019 guys. And then in between, we have a game called Youth Hockey Tribute to the Inductees game, where there's going to be, we have 36 inductees, there are going to be 36 youth players playing in a game, and each player is going to be representing with a shirt with an inductee's name and number on the back. So for example, if Mark McGuire is one of our inductees, if he has a granddaughter or a grandson that's youth and involved with hockey, they will be playing in the game and they'll have his number and name on the shirt. And yeah, so that's cool. So we got those two alumni games in that tribute game on the Friday. And then on Rink A, we'll be following that up on Rink A with a homecoming. So we'll have a dinner, or not a dinner, but a dance and a social.
Love it.
And then Saturday, from 11 o'clock till 3 o'clock, we're having a parking lot barbecue party with a hospitality tent with all kinds of things for kids to do, free food, free beverages, tour of the facility, tour of the room, meet the inductees, just something to do and something that involves the community, which is not going to cost anything. Mm-hmm. And then that's followed up on Rink B with our third alumni game, which is the last 3 years team that's played. They weren't eligible to be on the Wall of Honor because they haven't been removed from hockey for greater than 3 years. So they're playing an alumni game. So it'll be a little faster pace, I think, than the games on Friday.
On the 70s guys.
Yeah.
Against those guys.
And then we follow that game up with our I'll call it a gala, but it's our induction ceremony, which is our cocktail hour leading into 2 parts. So we're going to do a part 1 induction ceremony and a dinner, and then a part 2 induction ceremony and then a band. And then Sunday morning at Bellevue, we're having an alumni golf outing, which Pauline's been giving us a whole bunch of tee times starting, I think 9:30 or something like that. So
Jesus.
yeah, and we'll open it up to everybody and anybody if we don't get enough support from alumni. But we're looking right now at, in just the alumni games alone, we're looking at 120 players. We're looking at the probably 250, 300 people on the Friday night for the homecoming. And we're hoping for in the neighborhood of 500 or 600 for the induction ceremony. So, yeah, I mean, it's and then we're hoping that for the parking lot party, we're hoping to have hopefully the weather is good and we get a good turnout of people for that. We have all kinds of memorabilia that's been donated or given to us that I've been collecting not only over the years, but just since we started doing this. We've got all the championship rings that we're going to be showcasing. We have jackets, sweaters, sticks, skates, pucks, autograph stuff, programs, newspaper articles, pictures, like lots of pictures that we've been missing from guys. I knew they had them. It's just like, I knew these guys from the 70s and 80s, they keep everything, right? So some really cool things that we're going to have on display. And then once this weekend's over, we're reconfiguring our whole trophy case area. That's going to be basically we're going to call it our mini shrine or our mini Hall of Fame. But we have a kiosk coming in. That's probably the highlight of that area. It's a touchscreen kiosk. You walk up to it, it's voice activated, just like you'd see it at Hall of Fame. And you want to know anything about the 73s, who the inductees are, who led the team in scoring there, who's got the record for this, just at the touch of the kiosk. It'll all be on there.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's very interactive. And we're going to be showcasing we're buying more trophy cases.
Well, that's what I was going to say, because I know my dad's plaque is sitting behind like 2 trophies. You can't even see it.
Yeah,
like, I always go and look at it, to pay my respects to it. But there's many plaques piled up in there. You know what I mean? Like it definitely needs to be overhauled.
Well, and that's why our kiosk will enable us now to electronically put a lot of that stuff on there, right, without having to find space for it. Right. But we got enough stuff where I believe that we can have a really good display area up there on a rotating basis. So it won't get stale. We can have different things at different times, right? And it may circulate back in like 3 years later, maybe makes that same stick come out again. But yeah, the good thing about the history that we're laying here is that it's a moving part. It's always from year to year being added to, right? As new players come in and new people come in, you make more new history.
Right.
Fuck, you guys have thought of everything.
Yeah, it's been a great endeavor, man. And I'm getting huge support from the executive. We're getting great support from sponsors right now. Unbelievable. They all just want to have a piece of it. Yeah, it's really good. It's gonna be great. And then moving forward, like I say, I don't know how we're gonna do it. I don't know if it's gonna be every year. It's gonna be every other year. There will come a time where, we might get to where we get to, and maybe no one's deserving in every given year, right? We want the wall to mean something. We just don't want to just put people on the wall to put them on the wall.
Up there just because they were the best player of that team, even though they didn't go anywhere. Right?
Yeah. And it's funny how, some people maybe thought they were a bigger contributor when they played and that. So when we kind of did this Wall of Honor, we knew we were going to be subjecting ourselves to a lot of scrutiny.
Wow.
Yeah, and decision.
I can't believe fucking some people that.
How do you make that decision? How come? Yeah.
So is the wall itself going to be like out in the rink?
Yeah. So we come out our rink doors where our trophy case is.
Yeah.
That whole area is getting redone, all getting repainted, refinished, redecored, and all above the trophy case in that wall is going to be where all the plaques are.
Okay.
Yeah. So there'll be plaques up there. They'll be static all the time that we'll add to. And then, and we'll also have in our trophy case, our honor roll patch, which will have basically that's your typical wooden plaque honor roll with all the plaques for the different categories. So you'll have that. And then we have our kiosk that will have everything and anything in it. Yeah.
Wow, putting some money and thought into this one.
Huge budget. But you know what? It's 50 comes only once, and a Wall of Honor, the first year is our inaugural year. It only happens once. So, we've never been an organization that shied away from spending money or investing money or time into something that we feel it's worthwhile. Right. And this is no different. I mean, we are not going to shortchange it.
You guys are going to draw in a bunch of fans too, and like new fans and stuff to, like they can go out and see the rink. They can see the locker room on those days. They can be out in the lot doing stuff. Like you guys have thought of literally everything.
Well, and there's another caveat to what we're trying to do too, right? And we're always in recruit mode. So when people tour our facility, when our staff has people to visit and next year they're going to be eligible to play for us, or 2 years from now they're going to be eligible to play, we bring them in, we bring their parents in, we give them the tour of the dressing room, we give them the tour of our facility, we bring them, and now they can see our history right in front of them. Right.
And how many people went somewhere, did something.
Yes.
All that.
Yes.
Awesome. That's a great selling point too, right? Mm-hmm. That'd be I'll tell you what, cheers.
Well, I'm talking too much. My mouth's getting dry.
Beer. Jesus, Rob.
Talk too much. My mouth's getting dry.
I checked last time; it was fucking half full.
Yeah, so that's that and all that, and so we got a lot of good things planned, and hopefully Hat Trick Hockey will be involved in some capacity, and maybe you guys want to do a live remote maybe over the weekend or something like that.
Well, that'd be cool. Get some of the guys in. And
sure, why not?
Whatever. Like when Dave had his 10 up for us. We got Sarah Nurst and Mallory Spooner, and it was fantastic. Like, just walk in, do a 10-minute interview with us, because I couldn't believe how many leather jackets were in the crowd over the playoffs. Like, you could see the old players coming back.
Well, that's one of the things Mike and they're trying to rejuvenate is that leather jacket.
I want it. We were talking about it on the podcast.
Yeah.
I'm like, that thing's got to come back. It would not be such a so heavy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Brett said he was going to wear his on, but his shoulders got too big. He said it's too big right now.
But I would consider being on site. Doesn't have to be the whole weekend, and pulling some of these past members in and giving them, even if it's on a playback, right?
Yep.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind for us, Rob, doing a little puck drop too. Be good for us too.
Yeah. You guys be involved as much as you want or as little as you want, but I think you guys should be involved in some capacity. I think the guys who get a kick out of talking about their past, you get some good stories.
I got a couple guys, like I'm just walking through the bar, and buddy's in there with his leather jacket on, and I'm like, hey, what year does that say on your threes jacket?
Yeah.
And he gives me his name. He's like, yeah, I'll come on your podcast. You got beer, right? Like, you give me beer? And I'm like,
yeah.
Like, that's all you gotta ask for. Come on over.
Yeah, that's good.
I'm all tapped. So if you have anything else that you have to ask Joe, fire away, bud.
Well, there's just a couple more things, like Joe, like we still didn't get to the nooks and crannies of like when you played, and like what were your bus trips like?
Bus trips were always fun. We were not as fortunate as the team is today, where we did have to take school buses, but we were very appreciative of it all the same.
Absolutely.
We didn't have the subways and the custom wraps on their bus, but we had
gluten-free.
Yeah, we had fans and we had a Mrs. Cascadden and I think Mrs. Jones. We had ladies that made our sandwiches, and that we were just happy to have anything, right?
Yeah.
So bus trips were fun, especially when we got outside the area. From playing cards on the bus to a couple of stories I can remember. I remember going to Ted LeBrash and Gord Davidson used to always be the euchre partners, and me and Gagno, and they were the veterans and we were kind of the rookies, and didn't matter in the middle of the game. Gordy, they'd be like, you pick the card up, right, and go hearts, and Gord would go, and Teddy would go, another one, or they would holler stuff out, like at the bus driver, like, hey, take a log off that fire. Hey, got round wheels in this thing or what? Like, just, Gordy, and Ted. And so we had a lot of that stuff. I remember going up to, we were playing in Hanover, and we were going up the 401, and we're in a bit of a snowstorm, and we're running late. And I know we're running late. And we see a sign that says, welcome to Guelph. Well, Guelph is like there, and Hanover was over here. So we had to get off. Back then, there's no cell phones. Get off the bus at the next stop, find a payphone. Mickey McDermott was our manager. He had to call the arena, find out, tell them we're going to be running a little late. Well, we get there. They want us to forfeit. So we had to get the league involved. And I remember getting off the bus. They wouldn't let us. They had the line blocking the door. They wouldn't let us get in the door. Just crazy stuff. And then when we got out of the rink to get into, they give us I think they gave us something like a 5-minute warm up. And we were lucky to get that. And then, but I remember coming out of our dressing room.
How late were you?
We were late. We were like a half hour late. And then we were, well, I mean, if there was a bus breakdown, what are you gonna do?
That's what you say.
No one's got anywhere to go. We're playing the game, right?
We had to change flat tire.
But I remember coming out of our dressing room, we had to walk, it's behind the net. We had to walk up to the kind of where the behind the net glass is, and then over to the corner. And people are right there. They have the legs out. They wouldn't move their legs. I remember Jonesy kicking people, and everyone just trying to kick to get by, right? Oh, it was crazy. And then we had fights in the stands. We always had that group of guys that would follow our games around. They drive everywhere, right? Lloyd Phillips, Wayne O'Neill, Diker, Mulder,
Yeah.
There was always a scrap somewhere.
Yeah.
Always a scrap.
Because I remember like when I was going to games at the old barn, and that back door that led to the parking lot.
Yeah.
The guys would make snowballs, and they would leave them like the old cannonball style where they're all piled up, and then they, the game's getting close, maybe just sitting there waiting, snowball in hand, buddy's on a breakaway. Three snowballs come flying.
Oh yeah,
like it was fucking insane.
Well, when we played,
so much fun.
We wouldn't bus to, like, now the guys are, we bus outside of the county. Like we don't bus to Amherstburg or
you just drive yourself.
But I remember we used to play in Leamington. Whatever you did on the ice kind of stayed on the ice, but the guys and the fans in the game and that you're concerned when you left the rink.
Yeah.
Because you weren't leaving the rink like as a group and going on a bus. You
Right.
don't know what was going to happen. I'm not just saying Leamington. I'm sure the Leamington players felt the same when they came to Essex, right?
Yeah.
So I really miss that.
There was just
that
as many fights in the
rivalry.
stands in the parking lot that there was on the ice.
Yeah, more so than today. I just don't know if we just raised the kids better today or we were knuckleheads. I mean, back then it just happened, right?
Yeah.
You fought a lot more.
There was less consequences back then, like.
I think a lot of the kids now that play, they go to school together, they hang together, they've played because of Sun County and AAA, a lot of them have played hockey together.
Right.
Where when we played, you played for Essex, you played for Leamington, you played for Harrow, right?
Yeah, there was always a rivalry.
Right.
And everybody hated each town.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's how it was when I was growing up.
Yeah.
I played in Harrow. I didn't know anybody who played for any other town, and I would stick anybody. Like, I wouldn't care. Like, I don't care who you are. I don't know you. That's how it was for us anyways. Now these guys, they all, like Joe was obviously just saying, that they all know each other now. So that's
they do.
Yeah.
I mean, because pretty much
They've all played in some camp together.
Yeah.
if you're playing even at our level, junior C level, there's a good chance you're on our team, you played at least AA hockey or you've played AAA hockey.
Yeah.
And maybe you're just not that elite AAA player, but so these guys all play together, right?
Yeah.
Even when we're playing Bow River or Lakeshore, I mean, those guys all know each other. And I know out there in the ice, you wouldn't think it,
No.
but there's a respect. I don't know if you noticed after our last game, if you hung around, if you weren't pie-eyed,
No, that's good.
but you've seen their guys hugging some of our guys and vice versa, right? So there's still always that, but that comes with the hockey, right? There's always that respect once the buzzer goes for
They did their
your
cheer and everything,
Sure.
and then the 73 sat there and watched them before they got to shake their hand. And then it was really cool because they had their buddy out there in the wheelchair, and everybody shook his hand. And you know what I mean? And then when it was all said and done, guys were skating off, but you had Chittle and Smitty who played for Bauer for how long, right? And you can see there's a lot of love there, and it's just too bad that Chittle and Smitty come up short.
Yeah, you know what? It was.
Those two are going to be hard to replace, Joe.
Well, every year we have overagers that move on and they're hard to replace.
Yeah.
And Lakeshore's got 4 they're going to have to replace this year. And it's going to be tough to replace those guys too. And I don't know if you want to touch base on a little bit on the way the playoffs are going right now with that. But I'm wishing I messaged Siegs there before the last round and told him I wished him luck. And it looks like they're on their way. They're 2-0. So yeah, I'm not a big fan of the way they're doing it, but and I have a feeling that we're getting set up for if it goes really well and they proved that it was a moneymaker for all the teams, that it's something going to keep in place moving on. And I just don't like that tournament style. I mean,
no, it's like the Memorial Cup. You sit there and you watch your team play all year, play through the playoffs, win the area, and now they're gone, and you don't get to see any of it unless you go.
With the only difference being they're flying cross country, right? To play, where we're not flying cross country.
No.
We got 5-hour drives from them to 7-hour drives.
Right.
It's not a big deal, but whatever. They're going to try this out. I don't think that we'll support it. Any of the teams will support it moving forward, but. And I'm not going to put an asterisk on anybody who wins this year because it was a tournament style, and they haven't tried a tournament style before. They tried one back in the late 70s, and it failed as well. So I like that. You have to win 6 rounds in junior C.
Right.
There's 63 or 64 teams, and you got to win 6 rounds to win it all. And I like that. And that's 6. That's 24 games.
And that's how much money that's being brought into your community. Too.
Yeah, you're right. Like your fans follow you all along. All of a sudden they can't.
Why should Barry get the money? Like wherever it is, but why should they get the money?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I get it that they're going to disperse it out through the teams, but
So what they
agree
threw at all the teams this year was they said, once your quarterfinal series is done and you go on to the next round, which is your semis, the last 4 teams, your travel, your accommodations, your food, it's all covered. All your expenses are covered. So it didn't come out of pocket. 73s back in the 70s were so successful, they almost bankrupt themselves because it was costly to go on and move on. And the travel trips, right? As a matter of fact, it got to the point where it was so bad they're considering moving to Kingsville. And this is in the 70s, yeah.
Wow.
So had to make some deals and some arrangements with the town, with unpaid ice, with the sports shop, with unpaid equipment and stuff. And I mean, you're winning all Ontario, and you're drawing in your league, you're drawing 3, 4. You'll see it in even Lakeshore. I mean, they were getting over 1,000 when they were playing us in the finals, and now in their next series, they're drawing 500.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Because you're losing all that local.
Right. And Essex is right.
Yeah.
Right here.
So we'll see how it goes. So, and another thing I don't like about the format is the round robin play that they're in right now is meaningless. You can lose all 3 games, and all you got to do is win that semifinal game.
Right.
And the final game, you go 2 and 3 and win it all.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah,
Right.
like
I'd rather see a good 7-game series.
Yeah,
me too.
Here, there. You know what I mean? Like it's been going.
Yeah, or you could do what the Spitfires did when they went to the Memorial Cup in 87, 88. Lakeshore could win their first 3 round robin games, get seeded number 1, play the number 4, and maybe even win that, get to the final and lose.
And they're done.
So go 4-1, and you don't lose. And the other team could just be they could go 0-3 and then win 2 and 3. It makes no sense.
Right. Is it Gary Bettman in charge of that?
Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah.
His setups for the playoffs. But yeah.
The refereeing is just the same. It's always been this way, he said. It's always been like this.
No.
Nothing's changed. They call it the same way. If it's a penalty, it's a penalty. And I don't know what he's smoking. I'm not sure why the owners love him so much.
Turned off the TV last night in a Leaf game. They were saying, I didn't see it. We were doing an interview. We did Ryan Jelinas.
Nice.
And like people were saying, yeah, first period, shut it up. It was 2-0.
Mhm.
But they're like, I was getting so angry at these stupid penalties, like a tap on the glove, and it is a tap on the glove. In the playoffs, I thought it's a whole different handbook. We had Dave Cassidy on here. He said it was. He said it's not the same rules.
Yeah.
You got to let this go a little bit more, So I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I haven't been watching all the games, especially those ones out west and that, but I'm sure they're calling it. Sounds like they're calling it all the same. And did they have a lead and lose the lead, or were they always fighting from behind last night?
No, they were down by a few, and then they ended up tying it, and then they lost in overtime.
I think they were down 2.
I think they were down 2.
Yeah.
Well, in the East going into yesterday, every series was 2-2.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm really no, it can't be because Pittsburgh's 3-1, right?
Oh, sorry.
That's all the games we were playing last night were 2-2 or something like that. Yeah.
Except Colorado had bounced.
Pittsburgh kind of surprising me a little bit, but I wasn't a big believer in the Rangers.
I couldn't pick against Crosby.
Yeah.
I just couldn't.
They're up 1-0 right now too, by the way, Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Are they?
And Florida getting a little scare, and Carolina getting a little scare.
Yeah.
I really think that this Toronto-Tampa series, those are 2 really good teams. The Tampa Bay team,
don't go away.
they got a lot of talent, man. They get I don't know who this Paul guy is, but
I never noticed him at all. But they play.
We're losing to a guy named Paul, and I'm watching this guy out there. I'm like, he's pretty good.
But he's bouncing guys too.
Yeah.
Like he plays a heavy role.
They're like the Blackhawks used to be. They always find a way to replace those 3rd and 4th line guys. And Toronto did a good job this year with their guys.
I think so too.
Last year they missed the mark on Foligno. They had some tough luck.
He was injured, right?
Richie was about the only one they brought in that didn't really fit I don't know if he gained weight or what his deal was, but he just didn't fit in.
No.
He looked slow out there.
Yeah. Well,
but
when you're with Marner and Matthews,
Kempf, Kasha, Bunting,
Engvall
and Mikheyev, you're just starting to see. I don't know what they're going to pay this Mikheyev next year. Like,
and Engvall's playing out.
He does a little bit of everything, and he's just starting to. I always said to people, they dogged him because he couldn't finish. I said, well, just give him a little time. Once he does start to find the net, he's a pretty valuable player.
Yeah, he's a big kid.
Yeah. Anyways, I will say this: the playoffs, I couldn't wait for it. I mean, I can't watch 82 of meaningless regular season hockey games.
If you had to pick right now, who do you think is going to win it all?
Jeez, it'd be different than if you would ask me before the playoffs started, because before the playoffs started, I was saying Florida, Colorado.
Yeah.
Colorado's looking good. I mean, but again, it really depends on their competition, right? Maybe who are they playing? Nashville or something like that?
Yeah.
That series ended. It's done.
I honestly, Calgary over there, and I like Colorado over there. And on this side here, I liked Florida and Carolina, but I thought, what about the Stanley Cup champs? And what about this Toronto team?
Yeah.
I picked them to go all the way to Tampa Bay. I picked Tampa Bay to go all the way.
Yeah. You guys ever tried to figure out the old system, if it one played 8 and you're like,
Yeah.
How would that look?
It would look a lot better than the way it looks now.
It just seems like if you don't win first or second overall, you are in a dogfight.
Yeah, they need to just go back to the old way and top 8 on each side make it.
Yeah, but didn't Toronto win second?
No, Carolina did. But then you've got 5 teams, maybe 6 teams with almost 100 points.
Yeah,
or at least 100 points.
Yeah.
So everyone's good.
You got third playing fourth.
Everyone's good. There's not a lot of discrepancy. There's not as much discrepancy as there once was.
Right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never tried to figure out the 1 and 8 thing, but I should though, see how it would actually panned out.
Or the old way used to be 1 and 16.
1 and 16.
Mm-hmm.
And then a little reseed.
Yeah.
I don't like that neither. I think you get your first round, you get your first your low seed. After that, you get whoever you get.
Right.
If
whoever wins that series.
I just like top 8 each side. Boom, boom, 1 and 8, 2 and 7, like just like that.
Yeah.
The way it used to be. Well, that's how I've always seen it too, right? Up to I hate wild card shit. I fucking hate the wild card.
Well, they're doing this. It's all because of travel, right?
But look at last year, like the Habs go in on a wild card spot and then they end up in the finals. Like, what the fuck is that? But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I like the other.
Well, let's put it this way. I mean, I hope the playoffs last long, because once it's done, I've got to start watching the Tigers, and I don't want to.
No, they're not.
Yeah.
It's,
I hear you.
It's
hey, and then you
not
can
good.
just follow that up with the Hawkins. Who hated you?
Exactly.
My guy hated me because I have all the same things.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. All right, Joe. We'll just want to say thanks a lot for coming on and explaining all how the.
Thanks for having me again.
Yeah, man, this is great.
We definitely, if I can get a schedule or for that upcoming August thing, I'll definitely plug it.
We will be there too. We will be there.
Yeah, I think it's in your best interest to be there. I mean, you're going to be getting you're going to have the guys that you want to talk to, and the people you want to talk to, and
we'll have lots of business cards with us too in case.
Yeah, I mean,
email us.
Yeah, think of some questions about some of those people. I'm sure you have them, Rob, where you remember that guy when he played in the 70s, but you've never had a chance to meet him, and there's a question you've always wanted to ask him. There you go.
Yeah.
Right. And I'll make sure that those guys are available to you.
Well, I'll talk to a bunch of the guys anyways, and everybody gives me information on whoever, right? Like, oh, you got to talk to this guy. Ask him about this. You know what I mean? And there's always a good question, and you know a million of them, so like I can always jump back on board with you, and you can hook me up with something. So
yeah, we'll find a good area for you there within the rink where
next to the hot dogs.
Next
to the hot dogs in there.
Yeah, and if you got somebody that's on the fence you don't want to talk to, this is the deciding factor usually.
Right. We got Bud Lights and we got whatever GL fucking like Heritage, whatever you want. All right, Joe.
No, fishing.
Thanks a lot, guys. Thanks a lot. Cheers.
Joe, thank you. And there he was. It's always fucking good talking to Joe.
Love Joe.
I love talking to Joe. He's like he's so well spoken. Joe.
Well, he's gonna be the mayor.
Yeah. Like
he'll be the mayor of Essex in no time. He's
so well spoken, but he is a hockey Google when it comes to the Essex 73s, which is awesome.
Yeah.
I love the wall going up. They got the little freaking kiosk thing where you get 73s info and all that. I love what they're doing there. So, and they have in that there's like a festival type thing going on too, right? So it's going to be a big year. Year for the 3s.
We'll make sure we talk about it when it's getting closer to that.
Oh yeah, for sure. This is year.
Make sure everybody comes down and sees us and
come meet the boys. Come say hi. Come say hi to the team. Everything. It's going to be great. And this is year 50, right? He said 50 years of the 73. So let's make it a big season.
So after we were done the show, he ends up pulling out this fucking scroll. he's explaining all the point system and how you got points and how you stayed into the top, out of the top 100 into the top 50 into the top.
That's unreal.
You know what I mean? It's fantastic.
The research and stuff that he does is crazy.
He's a very smart man.
Yes, he is.
But enough tickle feet with fucking Joe.
Enough fucking stroking Joe off. So anyways, let's get into round 2 of the playoffs, Rob. Okay. So we'll start with Colorado, St. Louis. So man, I just think Colorado might be too much. So McKinnon, 5 goals. He's the one, he leads the squad so far in the playoffs. Cale Makar is unreal. 3 goals, 7 assists, 10 points, leads the team in points. Freaking Kemper should be, I think he's going to be back now after he got the stick to the eye there. That's so crazy. I don't get how the stick even fucking fit through there. Like, aren't those sticks and stuff made and the holes in mass like made, like, you think that they don't?
Well, remember we had Jelly on. Jelly was talking about the stick wouldn't fit through there, but the butt end would.
Yeah, but right? That was the blade that went through.
Yeah, but those guys doctor up them sticks because remember, there's no stick penalties anymore,
yeah,
right?
That had to have been shaved.
You could shave
right?
the top down, yeah. You could shave the bottom. Like, fuck.
Okay, this might seem like a dumb question, but why do guys do that? Do you know?
Remember, there's never a dumb question. It's just dumb people.
Yeah.
So,
but
sorry, what was the question?
Why are they shaving their fucking, like, why are they shaving?
Because whatever feels good. Like, I used to play with a guy, Bob Matheson, and when he would, remember, you used to heat the stick up and
to curve it
whatever way you want.
Yeah.
He would put it down, holding it here, say right-handed shot, and then he would step on the toe of it, so it would open the blade up like it was a crazy, like, I couldn't believe it, like, but he didn't put a curve into it. He opened the blade up, so like when it's rolling off the end of the stick off the blade, it's going up, right?
Oh, so you can shoot high and quick.
Yeah, but now they shave them down. They shave down the handles. They do all kinds of shit to their sticks. Because remember when we had Lil Scott on, and he said, "There's only one stick that I use. There's only one stick I feel comfortable with, and that's it."
Yeah.
So they all do it a certain way, you know, like
the only thing I've ever done to a stick is cut it and tape it. That's all I've ever done to a stick. Like, I don't know, man. That's just crazy. But it was just crazy. But that guy, Darcy Kemper, 930 save percentage so far in the playoffs.
Crazy.
But so St. Louis, like, they're no slouches either, man. So no. O'Reilly leads the team in goals and points. He's got 6 goals. He's got 9 points.
Did you see O'Reilly's goal last night?
No, I didn't.
Fuck. I couldn't believe the hands on him. So he tries poke checking the puck away. He's going at the defenseman. He's probably 10 feet in front of the net. He poke checks the puck off of the defenseman. The defenseman shoots it out. It goes off of the St. Louis guy, bounces past the defenseman right to O'Reilly's stick. He knocks it down to make it sit still.
So flat.
Brings it to the backhand, forehand, top shelf. I was like, what the fuck just happened there? And I mean, in a matter of like 2 seconds.
Yeah.
No, it was incredible hands.
Their hands and their just how fast they can think.
It was unreal.
It's crazy. And that's why he gets paid the big bucks.
And you know, like I know who he is, but I never get to see St. Louis.
Isn't he the captain?
Yeah, he's captain. Yeah, but you never see St. Louis. You never see LA. You never see, a lot of them certain teams.
Yeah.
But like to watch that, I was in awe, like how fast it was, just like boop, boop, boop. It's in the net.
And like we said off the air too, Jordan Binnington has fucking just come back to where he looks. He looks like his normal self.
Right where he was. Right where he left off when he left the Stanley Cup.
944 save on him.
Wow.
So, but in the end though, Colorado just has every piece. They have guys on D. They have the fucking guy in net. They have scoring. They're big. They're fast. They hit. They're rough.
It's like an all-star team.
Yeah. They'll fight you. They'll whatever. So in this series, Rob, you had the Avs in 5. I had him in 6, and Drew has him in 7. So we all had the Avs on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fucking
They're going to the
Colorado's cup. They're just so good, man. And the thing is too, is they'll not only do all that and they'll beat the shit out of you at the same time too, man.
Oh yeah.
So
there was some huge hits in that game. There's a lot of people getting run over. But then you got Shen on the other side. You got O'Reilly on the side. You got Tyler Bozak on the other side. Like you got a lot of good hockey players in St. Louis.
Fucking no one even St. Louis, but fucking Colorado too. They got like Kadri, like the Colorado.
I know. Like I said, that's an all-star team. You can put that team in the all-star game.
Okay. Do you want to know who who this team kind of reminds me of? This freaking Colorado team. They kind of remind me of the 2002 Red Wings. Remember how they had like everybody?
Yeah.
That's what this Colorado team reminds me of. Because it just seems like no matter where you look, there's a fucking all-star player.
Yeah.
Like look at
there's one on every line. That's for sure.
It's crazy, dude. It's crazy. So, and I did say a long time ago too that they were my pick to win the cup. So they're a wagon right now. So we'll see. But like I said,
I got them in Tampa Bay going to the cup.
And St. Louis is gonna fucking give them a go. Like, don't think they're gonna get anything easy. So we'll see. We got to talk about this one because these two teams,
5 though.
These two teams, we got the Battle of Florida. How fucking cool is this? Where did Ross Colton come from? This guy leads the team with 4 goals. Kucherov doing his thing. He leads the team in assists and points with 7 assists and 10 points. So he's got 3 goals. Vasilevsky, I feel like, hasn't really been himself. Weird hearing me say that when he's got a 907 save percentage. But like I said earlier in the show, Campbell's numbers were better. Campbell outplayed him in game 1, but the thing was the Lightning obviously scored more goals. So Florida, on the other hand, so they got Carter Verhaeghe, I think is his name. If that's not how you say it, -1 Ant leads the team in goals with 6. He's got 6 assists, which leads to points. And he's got 12 points. Sorry. So 6 and 6 with 12 points, math guy Ant. So leads the team in 3 categories. This kid, Bobrovsky's got a 903 save. Like, this series is fucking nuts. So Florida lost game 1. Rob, do you think that they're going to have a little bit of a bounce back?
If I was Tampa Bay, I don't know. I don't know if they will. I don't know. I think Tampa Bay has just as many weapons as Florida does, but they also have Stanley Cup tenure. You know what I mean? Like, they've been there. They've been to the show. They've twice and won it in the last 2 years. So you got a lot of stuff going for you right there. If I was Tampa Bay, I would dump the puck in just to the side of Bobrovsky every time, so he has to come on and play the puck. He is fucking terrible.
Yeah,
like, I can't believe they haven't tied him to his net.
Oh, I know, it's crazy.
Like, so, I would let him play the puck every fucking time because he's gonna cough it up.
And I think I'm the only one that has Florida. So I have Florida in 6. Drew and you each have Tampa in 6, I believe. So we all chose 6 games, but I'm the one that chose Florida. You guys chose the Lightning. So we'll see. Either way,
I think Florida might have the bounce back next game. But like right now, that home ice advantage is non-existent anymore.
No, I know, it doesn't mean shit now.
Right. So I think Florida will bounce back for this game, but I think Tampa goes back to Tampa and wins both the games there.
So you think it's going to be 3-1 by the end of game 4?
Yep.
Wow. So you could be right, man. That's one of those series that could swing either way, though, I feel.
Florida's got to get wheeling, right?
Yeah. We'll see what happens. Let's go to another battle. Alberta.
This is gonna be so awesome. Why so late though?
I think all of fucking Canada prayed for the series.
What is it? 91? They last played the Battle of Alberta?
I don't know. It was early 90s. It's been a long time.
I want to say it was 91.
Mm-hmm. It's been a
and
long
I watched some of the highlights with fucking Joel Otto and Theron Fleury and Kevin Lowe and I mean, you didn't even know there was a puck out on the ice.
Was that?
And these guys are leaving their feet. Esa Tikkanen, Craig McTavish.
I don't know if I'm right or not, but was that when Theo Fleury scored the series-winning goal in overtime?
I don't remember if that was the one, but like they had Jamie McCowan, they had Rick Natras, they had
Vancouver. He scored.
Oh my god, it was incredible. Like it was like a 13-minute video of just them battling, and it was the best hockey I've ever seen.
So Lindholm for the Flames leads the squad with 3 goals so far in the playoffs. Johnny Hockey.
Isn't that strange? Only 3 goals.
Yeah, it's weird. But here's the thing. They just had a low scoring series. So Johnny, like Hockey, leads the team in assists with 6, but he only has 8 points in total. He leads the team in points as well, and he only has 8.
Mm-hmm.
That's 8 points in 7 games.
There wasn't there some teams beat out with more goals than
I think so, yeah.
Then Johnny Hockey,
Here's the guy I feel that's been the difference for them is Markstrom in the pipes. Okay, Markstrom 943 save percentage. That's
impressive.
Nuts. Yeah, that's nuts. So I expect this series to be fast, rough, lots of hitting. I'm assuming you're probably going to see some scraps.
I didn't expect that to go 7 though with LA.
No.
So in all honesty, I think
Edmonton,
those 2 teams, Calgary and Edmonton, had the easiest first round.
Mm-hmm. And they both went
7. Yeah. Right.
And one of them went.
It could have went either way.
And one of them was game 7 overtime.
Yeah.
Johnny Hockey. But so speaking of those Edmonton Oilers, you want to know who I feel has been one unreal pickup and has been huge for the Oilers this year is Evander Kane. 7 goals in the playoffs so far. He already has a hat trick. McDavid is nasty. He has 10 assists, leads the team with 14 points so far in the playoffs. Mike Smith seems like he's back to himself, 938 save percentage. It's just, what else could you want for hockey?
Oh, you know what else I could have wanted for hockey? An earlier start time.
Yeah. Well, that's
the only thing.
No, but
9:30. Fuck.
Yeah, but think about it.
I'm already into my warm milk by then, and I'm going to bed.
But that's only 6:30 for them.
Yeah, I know. Because they want the viewers, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You're missing fucking 3/4 of Canada. But one thing I wanted to bring up to you, Ant, when you said about what's his name from Florida, like where the fuck did he come from? What about Paul? They picked up from Ottawa. Yeah. Like, dude, where the fuck did this guy come from?
Scored both goals in game 7 there?
Stud.
Did you see the second goal?
I never even heard of this guy until Toronto played him. Like I didn't even know who he was in Ottawa, whatever.
Dude, did you see the second goal? He like kicked it around his feet, like up to his stick and bam, got a shot.
Like a soccer player up to his stick, fucking bing, bang, boom. Yep.
Unreal.
Let's go.
That was sick. So anyway, speaking.
Sorry, I didn't mean to go off on that.
No, but that was a sick goal though. Good point though.
It's incredible. It's incredible.
What eye hand, Jesus.
Yeah.
So for this Edmonton Calgary, Rob, you have him in 7. Drew took him in 6. You guys have the Flames. I took the Oilers in 6. That's just because McDavid and Uncle Leo, and I can't.
Jesus.
I can't go.
Who did I pick in that one?
I can't go against him.
Oilers.
You and Drew have the Flames.
Oh, okay.
So you have him in 7, and Drew has him in 6. And I took the Oilers in 6.
And I gotta give props to Connor McJesus. He put that team on his back in that game 7 and did it all.
Mm-hmm.
Without him, because is Draisaitl hurt? He's got to be hurt.
I think he was banged up a little bit.
There's something wrong with him because he's not.
I heard he was, but I forget what it was.
Because he kind of looked like Kucherov in that, like in the Toronto series. Kucherov didn't even notice him really.
Yeah, true. I think he scored a couple goals, didn't he?
A couple, but I'm thinking Kucherov. He's scoring 7.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? But then last night, Point doesn't play, and Kucherov is the man. He looked like Connor McDavid out there. I almost said Connor McGregor again.
But I think I don't know, just I can't go against Connor and Leo. I always call him Uncle Leo, but I just can't go against him just because Connor looks like he's on a fucking mission. And when Connor's
don't have the faith in Smith.
I was just gonna say that, but if he can get back to just playing hockey and be healthy, Smith could be very effective and stay in your fucking net.
I also think that Calgary is a more rounded team.
True. But if Connor McDavid is Connor McDavid and Uncle Leo is Uncle Leo, it could get interesting.
You put big bodies on them. You know what I mean? It's gonna be a fucking train wreck of a series.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
So look,
it's gonna be like one of those accidents you drive by, but you don't want to look, but you want to look, but you don't want to look. You're like, okay.
That's funny. Last series, Rob, Carolina, New York. So Vinny Trocheck leads the way with 3 goals for the Canes. Tony fucking D'Angelo, this guy. So Carolina took a big time risk on him. He's got 7 assists in the playoffs. He's had a great year as well. Complete psychopath, but he's a great player. Ranta, however you say it. Sorry, buddy, but 927 save percentage. Aho's been
Rantana?
Yeah, I think it's Ranta. And Aho's had a great season. Rod the Bod's got the boys buzzing and ready for war. Go over to the Rangers. Chris Kreider, when he's not running fucking goalies, he's scoring goals. 50 goal scorer. He's got 5 in the playoffs. Zibanejad leads the squad in assists and points. He's got 8 assists, 11 points. So he's buzzing. Georgiev, 935 save percentage. I did some homework, Rob. Gerard Gallant, man. I fucking wish the Red Wings would have just fired fucking Blashill and got Gerard Gallant. I love him as a coach. So he's got those guys will go through a wall for him.
Yep.
I feel like we'll go through. Yeah.
Well, he's played the game.
Yeah,
he's played the game.
And he
plays it like he wants his team to play it.
And he played it right.
Yep. He was a
tough guy. He scored, he fought, he fucking did it all.
Yeah. So I hated him. I fucking hated him.
Yeah, because he was always a thorn in the side of the Leafs.
He was. And you know, like that was when Toronto and Detroit would play like 8 times a year.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And there was a few times too where he played on a line with Bobby Probert and Steve Yzerman.
Yep. Like when Probert and Yzerman kind of broke into the league.
Yeah.
He was the vet.
Mm-hmm. And Proby fucking ended up being an all-star too. That's crazy, dude.
Yeah. And Garrett, and I put that all on Gallant's shoulders. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You know he's talking to those two. You're on my line. This is what you need to do to stay in the NHL. This is what you need to do to be an NHL player. And I'll fucking bet you Yzerman was just like a sponge and Proby was just like, okay.
And it was probably, hey, fucking Stevie, do what you do and we'll take care of you. That's probably what it was.
Because Gallant was a tough guy too, right?
I love fucking watching Yzerman play, man. He was so good. So Drew's got the let me see here how I got this. So I have the Rangers in 7. And Drew has Carolina in 5, and Rob, you have them in 6. I'm the one that has the Rangers. So we'll see what happens, man.
Fuck those Rangers.
I know one person that's going to be happy with me picking the Rangers, Jamie McDermott. So I know he'll be happy with me taking the Rangers. Let's go Rangers. Oh, isn't that their fucking goal? They do have a pretty fucking annoying goal song, but whatever. I'm taking them.
They're all annoying.
Rob,
all those Ranger fans.
Last segment of the week. As always, our beauty of the week. Do you have any idea who's going to be your beauty of the week?
I do.
Who do you got?
I got 2.
Oh, shoot him.
I got Dale Mitchell from the Leamington Flyers.
Total beaut.
Yeah, and I got Coach Q there from the Lakeshore Canadians.
Anthony Iaquinta.
Yeah, Anthony Iaquinta for getting Coach of the Year and winning the Schmaltz Cup.
Fucking right. 2 beauties there. You guys kind of made me lose my fucking train of thought because I got thinking about those 2 beauties. But you know what? I'm going to take Evander Kane just because 7 goals in the playoffs so far. He's been great. And I guess he's been good in the locker room. He's just back to just playing hockey, not worrying about the outside shit. So he's been a big part of them heading into the round against
he'll figure out how to fuck it up.
Oh, I hope not. He's kind of one of those guys I kind of want to do good. Like he's always
I do want him to do good. I don't want to see him do bad. Like
he's always been a good player, and he does play the game right. He does play the game right. So he's my beauty of the week.
He's got fucking screws loose like Kadri does when Kadri gets the wires crossed.
Yeah. So we used to have this coach back in the day, Mike Golden, I want to say, and Drew
from Harrow.
Yeah, Mike Golden
plays a harmonica in the band.
Yeah,
Goldie.
But yeah, fucking Goldie. Goldie's a fucking beauty. Okay, so
guy.
Goldie plays I played Sunday night hockey with him. He played Sunday night hockey when I was a kid and he was playing Sunday night hockey, and I ended up playing Sunday night hockey with him. I went over to the Sunday afternoon league. He was still playing Sunday nights. And then now, just like this past year, he finally hopped ship into where he's playing fucking Sunday afternoons now.
I played with him in the Sunday night league.
Oh, Goldie's a fucking beauty.
Yeah.
He's a beauty. But but yeah, man, he just I forget what I was saying. I lost my train of thought because we were laughing about Goldie. Oh yeah. So he would always say every team has to have a couple loose nuts on the wagon. That's what he would say, right? Like, you got to have a couple loose nuts, and Drew was always that loose nut.
Yeah.
Just because Drew, like, there was a fine line that Drew played. Like, we fucking growing up, every town we went into, there was a kid there to fight Drew. Every fucking town we went into. So it was just kind of funny that Mike like kind of hopped up like that. But Mike, that was Mike saying, is every team's, there always has to be a loose nut on the wagon.
Yeah. And every team in the NHL does have that loose cannon, you know what I mean? Or that loose nut, however you want to put it.
And ours was Drew. It was fucking funny. You got anything else you want to talk on, bro? Or are you good to go? This has been
I'm good to go. I want to go watch some hockey.
Yeah, this has been a fantastic episode.
Yeah. Really good. Great. Really fun.
Yeah. So everybody, until next week, Aunt Rob signing off. We're out of here. See ya.
Peace.
I've lost my fight with time. My numbers up and up the line. I gaze at the darkness, so empty, just looking for the light. Shout for help, but no one's there. Need a guiding hand, someone who cares. All alone in the darkness, I've realized for the first time I am scared. If I could do it all again, if I had one more chance, my friend, I would rewrite all my wrongs. I would find where I belong. I got lost along the way. I had so much more to say. If I could do